What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Celtic Warrior Shaman?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome.
That's right. Welcome to the first show of Wrestling on the Rocks. That's right. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show because we can't hit the second show until we figure it out how to do it. And we're going to mess this one up. We're going to mess it up bad, and we're glad you're here to mess it up with us. If you guys are live, we're on twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks. So you can jump in the chat, derail the show, and ruin our moods. It happens all the time. I am at Ref Marsh. We got a guest today, yet again. Klump, introduce yourself and introduce our guest.
My name's Klump. I work here, sort of. And our esteemed, awesome guest is Amanda.
Amanda Jane. Hi. I think I need like a sleeping bag or something because like I've become a fixture here. I feel like I'm like a homeless person and I'm just scratching on the couch.
That's a good point. We're taking Lunar off our website and we're putting Amanda in there.
Yeah. I support that.
And this voice is producer lady off to the side.
That's right, producer here.
That's not what I sound like. But...
No one said it is.
Producer has an echo.
You have an echo.
Woo!
Feel like
all right. I'm ready. I'm good. You guys, this show's like Cheers for me. Because everyone's mean to me, but I get drunk the whole time.
Who is mean to whoever on Cheers? Like, are you talking about like Carla?
Everyone's mean to you.
You're
like,
saying that you're like the Diane Chambers then.
Yeah.
We're really dating ourselves here.
Yeah. What do you
think?
Why would you
Klump
say it like that?
Must be Norm.
I was gonna
say like I want to be Norm's the fat guy with the suit, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be that. I was gonna say Woody Harrelson, but
Woody was really dumb. He's still, and even as himself, he's dumb.
I mean,
but, you know,
he's not in wrestling. We can get heat with him. Woody Harrelson's a dumbass.
All right.
Yes, we can get heat.
Start.
Yeah. But even if they're in wrestling, we could get heat from some of them. Depends on
don't worry.
He's probably got friends with somebody in wrestling. Klump, tell the people what's in your glass. What are you drinking?
Coffee, Red Bull, more Red Bull, Pellegrino. We're just going to power through this. It's everything I didn't finish at work.
You just
That's
listed
a lot of
like
Red
several drinks.
Yeah, we're going to power through this. We are getting through this show, by God. How much coffee's in your coffee?
It's only about like 6 cups left.
Okay. And how much of that is just heavy creamer and sugar?
None. I'm trying to lose weight. It tastes like shit.
Oh, because you got it at Starbucks, didn't you?
No, I made it at home. I can't make it either.
Oh. You can't make it.
Oh my God.
Well,
no, it tastes like dog shit, but it's healthier, and I'm peeing a lot more, and I think that's helping me lose weight.
More info than we need.
No, water weight's got to go. That's how it goes.
We're getting back.
That's why it's red. That's like the fat coming out.
Okay, we can only edit so much.
That's probably right. It's like there's fire in it. Amanda, what's in your glass?
Burn.
What are you drinking?
Well, today we have our usual non-sponsored Sonic. Cherry with, today we went with Stoli Vanilla because we're in that mood.
Nice.
And my soda. So.
I think I'm going to have some proper number 12. What was that, Klump?
I was going to say, if I could throw out like a sponsor, not sponsor thing. If you're an adult, but you want to drink something that your childhood would like, watermelon Red Bull.
Oh.
It tastes like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, but your brain hurts after you have a lot of them because of caffeine.
But
I love it.
Glug.
And yeah.
Marsh.
Wow.
Marsh
that
is proper.
Tasty.
It is amazing.
Is it like the water that watermelony Mountain Dew?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's really like watermelon Jolly Rancher in that it's not anything like or watermelon Sour Patch Kids, which are the best candy ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like those with like no Red Bull. So it's just like wake up juice.
I'll have to
But,
check.
like,
I was getting ready to have producer mute you. I was like, put your finger on the button as soon as he starts saying I need to throw out a sponsor. I was like, be ready to stop it. But that was a good one. That's solid. I like that.
Thank you for everyone
what do
in
you
the
think I was
chat.
going to do? Like something like wildly
I have
offensive?
no idea. I have no idea, man. Sometimes you don't even think it's wildly offensive, but for the rest of us, it is. You know what I mean?
There's this new social media network called Parlor.
Yeah.
Kidding,
see.
not my thing.
There's so many
In
great
the
wrestlers
chat,
on Parlor.
We got a few
I'm
people.
about to mute them.
We got GR Lunar coming through. Thank you, GR Lunar. We got Kuro coming through. Cheers to Kuro as well. Miss Faptina, as always. Justin Time's already made it. Wow, people are coming in. People are coming to hang, and I appreciate it. I need your guys to hang out with me and get me through this week. Let's see. We got a few things in there.
Wasn't that painful this week?
Well,
It depends on who you are, but yeah.
Oh, I got things.
Oh, there's things. Kuro says he's got a bone to pick with AEW already.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
Get in line, motherfucker.
Bartender, a double shot of Wrestling on the Rocks, please. Coming right up for just in time. Let's see, Lunar, or not Lunar, Kuro. We're going to get to that because I like that. Let's see. Awesome.
And thanks to Lunar for subscribing with Prime.
Woo!
Making it rain. Money gun.
I feel like I'm a young buck.
I feel like I'm a plant in NXT. Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah. Oh, man. Are they washed out a little bit?
Just Klump.
Perfect way to spend the rest of my birthday with Screw. Happy birthday to Just in Time. That was a money gun. Guys. Let me see if I do this. If that helps. Guys, there's a little bit in the news today. I only had a couple of things, some really happy things going on in the world of wrestling, which is nice. First and foremost, Sarah Rowe, formerly Sarah Logan, had a baby.
Woo, congrats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheers to the baby. Drinks to that. I didn't catch the baby's like name or weight or anything like that because those aren't details that I need. But it doesn't mean I can't be happy for them because they seem happy to have a baby. So good to them.
They seem happy to have baby.
Do you think she's gonna wrestle?
The baby?
The baby?
No, not the baby. No, Sarah Logan.
You think Sarah Logan's gonna wrestle a baby?
Go back to wrestle.
I bet you she wins.
With like a tag team? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, with the
If she has
tag team.
another one, it could be trios.
Ooh.
Why?
Put
Why
her
is
husband
this
in there,
happening?
you know.
I think that Sarah Logan. I don't know.
mean-
I mean, I guess none of us know what is going on in anybody's mind at all. I get the impression that she really did love wrestling, and that I don't think she wanted it to end when it did or how it did. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her back. But I think with that in mind, we've seen enough of her on social media doing other things that she seems passionate about that I don't think I'd be totally surprised if she didn't come back to wrestling either. I think this is one of the ones from my book. This isn't like Becky where you go, I don't see a world where Becky doesn't try to come back at some point, whenever that may be. But with Sarah Logan, Sarah Rowe, I don't know. I feel like it's a real coin toss on whatever she feels she should go with, and I support either one, to be honest. I'd love to have her back. I thought she was great. What do you think, Amanda?
You know, I've seen her on the Indies when she was Crazy Mary Dobson, her original name. So I love her, but you know, I hope she does because she's just really awesome. And there's very few women, I think, that have that kind of credibility. Like, for example, right now, if I don't know, I'm going to pick on who's that chick that's hitting on Ric Flair? Lacey?
Yes.
Okay, that girl can't wrestle. Okay, no. Sarah Rowe can wrestle. I mean, if you like Lacey, hey, you know what? More power to you, but that's not wrestling. That's a really bad gimmick. But yeah,
Thank you.
that's all I'll say about that.
She's getting better, but yeah. No, I mean,
No.
I can't argue a lot of that.
Eva Marie's
Klump, what do you think?
better.
Do you think Sarah comes back to wrestling, or do you think that it's coin toss?
I think honestly, with everyone when they have a kid, they're
I've lost Klump. Oh, I've lost all
You lost
audio.
me?
I just heard it disconnect.
Amanda, do an impression of me.
I'm back.
Hey,
Nope.
Amanda, do the pressure to me.
Cool.
And my 10 red.
I am speaking through the vessel that is Amanda.
All right, give us.
I hear Klump.
I hear y'all.
Hmm. Did we kill it?
Oh, hey, whoa, I'm back. I'm back.
Hey.
Were you guys
Howdy.
talking the whole time?
No.
Possibly.
Well, we
Ah,
stopped.
come on.
I did an impression of Klump.
I was gonna speak through the
Well-
vessel that is Amanda.
Sort of.
I think I did
Klump,
an
what
okay.
do you think? What do you think, Klump?
I think when you have kids, I mean, like, yeah, it's hit or miss, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a change in one's life, totally. So if she doesn't come back, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Now we hope so. I mean, she's a fantastic performer. And I mean, we've also seen people who have kids and perform, like the person we just mentioned, who Lacey. Yeah.
Yeah. And Oscar's got kids. Mickey James got kids. I mean, it's possible.
Oscar's
It's
got
possible
kids?
to do. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Yeah.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys not? What the hell's going on? Do you guys not listen to
I
the
don't know.
show that you're on? We've talked about it on the show that you're
Maybe
on.
you talked about it before I was around.
It had to be episode 1. If I'm thinking about it, it was probably episode 1.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember that far back.
What other news you got?
Let's see.
Oh, shit, she is.
Okay.
The other news we had coming around, happy news from today, Mia Yim got engaged, surprisingly, to Keith Lee.
I was. If it was anyone else, that would be surprisingly like.
I
Like,
know.
oh, damn.
I know. I mean, congratulations to them both. I'll be honest with you. When I saw it, I was all like, again, I thought they were married. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
No.
I mean, and maybe it's just a testament for how good of a couple they seem to be from the outside looking in. That it just seemed weird to me that they weren't already. Was my first thought. Was all like, oh, I thought they'd already done this. But if they hadn't, then more power to them. Like I said, outside looking in, they look like an awesome couple together. So it makes perfect sense to me. But who the fuck am I, man? Cheers to Mia Yim and Keith Lee. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Did you have any other news?
I'm such
think
happy news.
The thing in the chat, I was going to go ahead and touch ground on, but what did you have for news-wise, producer?
So Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Mandalorian. One of the characters, the one that Sasha was working with a lot. Yeah. She is no longer going to be in it because of all her social media stuff. So I think it'd be awesome if they just kind of wrote in more Sasha.
Just put more Sasha.
Just that's fine. Okay, so that woman's not going to lead. There you go. You got a Sasha. Move her into the main cast now. And
What I like about that is
done.
online, a lot of people were suggesting that Sonya Deville take over that role. But I like the idea of just having Sasha's character murder that character and take over altogether.
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
Just like murder the stunt double. No, I think I agree with that. Just, I mean, I don't want to see I do not want to see Sasha disappear more from wrestling. But yeah, I think, especially given what the other person was doing, Sasha doesn't have a history of being a shithead on Twitter. Sasha's pretty awesome. Go Sasha.
I don't have much to say about that in general. I like it. I like the idea of more Sasha on Mandalorian. Let's see. Kiro's looking out for us in the chat. If you guys don't have anything else, there is something they brought up in the chat we could talk about for a minute as well.
Let's do it.
Kiro was mentioning that this WrestleMania is going to have fans. I know we've talked about it briefly, but that was pre-Super Bowl. We've now had a Super Bowl with people in the audience and a halftime show and terrible football. But it did happen in the same exact stadium that is going to house WrestleMania. They're saying, according to Kuro, 35,000 fans out of the 70,000 in the arena. I thought it was 25 or 30, but I have no idea. So if the current number is 35, whatever, I don't know the difference. We'll start with Klump. Klump, what do you think about this?
if they can do it safely, I think it's everyone wants to see shows live. We want to see the return of it. I think it could be really interesting and awesome. Now, I think WWE would certainly have learned from how it's not gone well with themselves and with AEW. Not to knock AEW, but I didn't like how when they started doing live shows, we heard about ticket scalping, and that just screams people are going to try and mix in groups, and we just want to be safe here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I think it'd be really cool to see more people there. I still want a Thunderdome element. I don't know how you integrate the two, but that would be really cool to me, is to have that mix of the Thunderdome and WrestleMania on a larger scale than like how we do with NXT.
Can you imagine if the whole upper floor was all Thunderdome and the lower floor was like mixed with pods separated by Thunderdome? So you had like Thunderdome. And
that'd be kind of cool.
Because you know how at the Super Bowl, did you guys watch any of the Super Bowl?
No.
I don't believe in football.
Sounds good.
Nothing interested me.
Well, I mean, I can't argue that, to be honest. They had a bunch of like cardboard cutouts in the audience, in between seats and stuff, to separate people and
like
and
baseball, what they did this year.
Probably.
Yeah,
I
the cardboard cutouts in some of the seats.
Do.
Yeah.
So they did that to separate people, but I also noticed when they shot the fans at times that the separation was like left to right and not top to bottom. So sometimes there was like people sitting directly in front of other people, but they were like clearly 4 seats away from the next person to the right. And I was like, that seems like maybe could be more strategic. But what if instead of cardboard cutouts, you had Thunderdome screens that prevented people from being able to cross over and stuff, making like little pods that way? Put a bucket in a pod, I don't mind. But they
smart idea.
I think you could do something like that. That could be really cool. A little both, and they got a little bit of time, right? They got about a month and a half. I mean, sort it out. How hard can it be, right? That's what people always say. It's got to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
The original Thunderdome was easy peasy, right? That thing just fell together like Legos.
And they already have the set. I mean, they're recycling the one they built for this last year. So
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I don't know. I do think I agree with Klump, where as long as it's done pretty safely. My concern, I guess, is just because Super Bowl went kind of weird. There's a lot of footage of people outside of the arena trying to get in, and before they could even be separated, there was just giant clumps and hordes of people. Where you're like, intake and outtake has got to be something that probably needs to be looked at. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but I like the idea of people being there.
100%. And like, I'm not a WWE shill, but I feel that in this they've done so much to try and be safe that I've really admired them in comparison to not just other wrestling promotions, but other companies in general. Now, I think ultimately the safest route would be empty arenas, and that has been very admirable, but they've done such a fantastic job at trying to balance it and be cognizant. When we've heard stories of outbreaks, I've been less concerned with them than other places because it's seemingly all been staff, or people that are close to it, which in a sense allows for contact tracing. It's not, ideally no one present at all, but if you have, we know everyone here, we know who they're related to, somebody's sick, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is our isolation.
100%. Or if you start bringing in 30,000 people, it becomes a lot more difficult if you say, hey, one of our talent got COVID. Is it possible it was one from one of the 30,000 people or from one of our 40? You know what I mean? Not to say it's their 40, that they got 40. I don't know. Fucking staffing numbers. Go ahead.
Did they mention if they're going to do like the temperature checking?
I don't know.
Out of curiosity.
I have no idea.
That sometimes is the big yay nay with that. And I'd say, that just means that entry is going to be the usual shit show. A WrestleMania, getting into WrestleMania always is a shit show. So that would make it worse. But.
Yeah, that could. Well, I mean, we'll see what they say, what they're doing. I know of at least 2 people who are going to try and go. So I'll live retweet it. I'll live retweet. I think that's all I really had. That's all I got to go. We can get right into the shows if you
But
guys
I've
want.
got something.
Go ahead.
I've got something real quick. Well, speaking of Mania weekend and things running, GCW is running another collective again this year. The highlight, of course, is Friday night, 8 p.m. Joey Janela's Spring Break 5. Actually, it should be 4 because we didn't have 4 last year. But I think that's going up against what, NXT Takeover?
I don't know that they've announced a takeover, to be honest.
Oh, I thought they did. Oh, okay.
I mean, especially the fact that we're getting a takeover this week. Do we think they're going to do another takeover in a month and a half?
Well, it's Mania week, you would think, or it's probably Hall of Fame. I don't know, but whatever. But the shows actually look pretty damn good. I'm very interested on looking at Thursday nights. Obviously, Joey Janela's Spring Break is a must. And I think on April 10th, the Saturday, really only Effie's Big Gay Brunch is of interest to me. But a lot of cool things. Definitely that blood sport. You guys might want to take a look at that. I know Josh Barnett and GCW are doing another one coming up. And they've got some really great matches like Cobb and Dickinson. Oh, God. I can't wait for that.
That's
I
insane.
can't wait. Yeah, that's insane.
David Boy Smith Jr. is going to be making his big return.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That'll be cool.
And I know he's a champion in jiu-jitsu too. I know he had some kind of title that he had won.
Jesus.
So he's a monster. He is a monster. So
he's a big dude.
Yeah.
I don't like it when big dudes know how to fight that good.
No.
Scares the shit.
I don't like it when little dudes know how to fight that good anymore, Suzuki.
Like if Marco Stunt could fight, that might be a little strange.
That's the most dangerous thing anyone's ever said.
Yeah.
If Marco Stunt could fight, that he would be a secret weapon. Because come on.
Yeah, like Drew Maverick.
Like Drake Maverick.
Sorry, yeah, Drake.
Yeah. Another show.
Come on.
I don't know what's going on.
He's a Drake. Yeah, he is a weapon.
Yeah, but Drake Maverick's so much bigger than Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
pretty sure there's a foot difference. Has to be.
If Killian Dane was paired with Marco Stunt, he could single-hand wield him versus with like Drake Maverick, he's a two-handed weapon.
That's a good point. That's a good point. He just picks up Marco Stunt by the arm and whips him.
Exactly, yeah.
Anything else news-wise?
No.
I don't think we need to go through AEW the whole show. I thought there was a lot of sloppiness, a lot of stuff that didn't make sense and that I didn't feel like watching, so I didn't. But there was a few things I thought were highlights worth talking about and talking points. But I'm going to let you guys pretty much drive this one because I know this was something that both of you watched more of than I did. But I did watch the opening match, Darby Allin versus Joey Janela for the TNT Championship in what was maybe one of the best in-ring wrestling matches the company has had ever. I was shocked.
Ever, really?
That was it. As far as just wrestling goes, they did very little outside of the ring. They stayed in the ring almost the whole match.
That's unusual.
It's super unusual. It started with a collar elbow lockup. It worked itself with holds to get into a place of bringing each other to certain weaknesses. Joey was working Darby's jaw. That's an interesting body part to work and weaken, but fuck if it doesn't sound effective. Yeah. Like it was really well put together, and that was kind of a surprise because even though people talking about this match going into it who were excited were saying it was going to be a battle of who kills themselves first and thinking it was going to be just outrageous violence with the most ridiculous pointless bumps. But I really didn't. I felt like this was one of the most contained matches we've seen in AEW Dynamite. Amanda, what do you think about this match?
Oh my God, I was in love with this match. I will say wrong guy won, but whatever. But yeah, I'll have to agree. This is probably one of the best matches that AEW has put on, period. I mean, everything was pretty solid. One thing I noticed that, I don't know, it kind of bugs me a little bit, but maybe just because I've watched Darby for so long, the coffin drop. To me, it's not that powerful because he's basically, his head's turned and he's looking the whole time. Because before he would just do it and it's like, oh shit, you're going to die. But so now that he looks when he does it, it takes that away from me. It takes that edge off. So I was a little like, whatever. But I thought it was great. I thought it was great that Excalibur, your favorite, Marsh, mentioned PWG in the guerrilla warfare match. That was the last time I've seen those two wrestle. If you guys have High Spots Network or, whatever, seek out that particular match. Yeah. I mean, they were using cement blocks, tables, chairs. I think the balcony was used. I think Darby did a coffin drop off the balcony. And he didn't turn his head to look the whole way. So, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Klump, what do you think about this one?
I saw the end of it, which I'm upset with. I saw like the last 2 minutes, which from what it sounds like were the worst parts of this match.
Yeah.
Because I was like, huh, okay. But it seemed kind of like weak to me. I wish I'd seen more of it because I think it could have been awesome.
Yeah, it was surprising how well they mapped out just an in-ring wrestling match. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that was 2
just
minutes.
also given even their history, like you were just saying, the fact that they are typically known for using cinder blocks and being as fantastical as they can be, I really liked and appreciated that here were two dudes who wanted to show that they could do this as well. And I thought it came out great. Justin brings up a point about it. The one thing I keep getting lately from AEW, even though some of the wrestling is good, is recently starting to feel like the only focus of the show is the elite. And I think this is a great example of that, too. They opened up the show with this to get it in and out of the way, and that was kind of it. Yeah, I think their main focuses are the elite and Sting, which is interesting. I also think that Sting didn't come out to this match. It makes me wonder. I don't understand contracts, but I wonder if he gets paid by appearance, because he did not come out or have anything to do with Darby Allin here and came out for his interview later. And I was like, I wonder if it's like I'm only coming out once, man. You pick the spot,
Team Taz was supposed to come out.
Yeah, and they didn't.
I was waiting for them to come out, and so Janela could win.
That's a good point.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. No.
I can tell you what they're saying in the chat, but there was literally nothing else that happened on this show that was of any interest to me. So if you guys want to carry the show or for a little bit through it, or do you want me to just tell you what's in the chat and you guys can respond to it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I got like a few things, but
Yeah, I've got a couple of things too. But
well, I'm not saying I'm refusing to talk about it. I'm just saying I've got
no,
nothing
no,
to bring
no,
to
no.
the table.
I mean, I'm there, but
yeah. Kiro says, why wasn't Darby match the main event? I agree. But I mean, I get it. Just because the champion was involved in the main match, and they think that Omega and Mox are those guys aren't wrestling if they're not in the main event, just because they believe that they should be there, even if the interest isn't. Let's see, why did Jericho and MJF need to win, and why is Cody even in the match that he was in? I don't. Oh, I know why Jericho and MJF won this match for the Acclaimed. It was because the rankings came out earlier, and they were ranked number 1, but they were still 2-0, and FTR was below them, but also 2-0, and the two teams beneath both of them were 3-1 and 3-0. And so the rankings made absolutely no sense. And it was clear. It was super clear that the rankings made no sense. And so I think they gave this win so they could be like, no, look it. There's sense to it. But it's just... It was
even the men's side. Like, Ricky fell off of it and Cody's back on there. I'm like, what the frick, dude? Like, go away, Goodbye.
Yeah, they're making that shit up as they
yeah,
go.
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But the MJF thing, I don't know. That was just the whole thing. We knew that was coming. What does it mean with Sammy? I'm curious to see. And I kind of liked how on Twitter Vicky Guerrero was really like, come join me. And I can be your cougar. I'm like, oh, damn, that would be so good. I would actually kind of like Sammy Guevara. And you can quote me on that. I've had 3 people say something like, really? Do you really mean that? I go, yeah, I do really mean that.
Klump, what do you think?
So overall, like to that first point about like how that match went, it made like with the Acclaimed versus MJF and Jericho, it made no sense. At times it feels like AEW's a book report or a science project where you're trying to make it up as you go in school, and then you're like, oh shit, we got to do this other thing too. It needs a chart, because they insist on having to use like this stupid ranking system. If they just didn't do it, they could focus on narrative, and nobody would really care about who's where and who's important and who isn't. It makes it just so much easier for them.
Yeah, I feel the ranking system is more of a hindrance than a help at this point too, because I feel like that it's very clear that they're trying to push the stories the way they want the stories to go, but the ranking system no longer is in alignment with that because they use that mathematical system to because they wanted it to seem more sports based in the beginning, but it's gone so far away from there that at this point it just makes them look silly whenever they talk about it. So it's just like, just drop the ranking thing, because at this point your fans don't care. You're not bringing in new fans. No one has started watching because they thought of the ranking system as being relevant, and the people who did come in because of that have already left. So just drop it, because your fans are diehard. They'll stay, and everybody else will at least be able to stop talking shit whenever you post it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought the Sammy angle was interesting. I thought it was handled in such a weird way, but that just seems to be AEW with the Inner Circle, like saying I quit, I'm leaving, and just there wasn't a blow up or stuff like that. And yeah, that's different, but it just felt weird.
Yeah, and even the back and forth between MJF and Sammy where they were doing the recording, it was like super obvious and kind of campy. I mean, I guess those guys did okay, but it didn't come off remotely believable at any moment. It was really corny.
No, I called it was two bratty kids in the sandbox, and they're fighting to see who's going to be the king of the sandbox.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, so like just like Three Stooges slapping whatever. Oh,
I'll tell you,
I forgot. This is the match. You didn't see this, Marsh,
yeah, go ahead.
but I wish you would have. So I have a really big bone to pick with the refereeing of AEW. And in particular, Aubrey Edwards. God, what?
The one with the t-shirts?
Oh
No.
Yeah. Well, Knox has a t-shirt too, and I think Bryce might have one too. I think Paul Turner is the only one who doesn't. And that's why you're senior official. Anywho, so this was the match. Like, it was, I think MJF was in the ring, and he had Max Caster kind of towards his corner, and he was doing some kind of submission move, but he reached his arm back, and Jericho was grabbing it and pulling on him to give him more, I guess, torque or whatever. And when you look at Aubrey, because they had the angle they were filming it from behind Jericho, you could see that she probably could see this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what, is she going to break it off? So they were holding it for the longest time. And then all of a sudden she kind of looks around, like really looks around, and they let go. And then they did it again. And she saw it she just walked around, saw it this time. They dropped. And then she straight up kicked MJF in the arm. Like, boom, shin to his, probably his, I think it was his forearm. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, like, I've never seen a ref. I've never seen anybody go into it like that. I mean, there's things that they do, but you don't kick somebody. I'm like, what is that accomplishing?
I've seen refs kick the rope, and that makes sense. When you're kicking the rope, you're like, you better let go, but not the person.
Not the person, no. That's where I thought it was really bizarre, because I was like, huh? And I was looking at it, and I'm like, God, you're fucking horrible. You know, I'm like, you can't say that you're trying to kick the rope, because the rope was nowhere near there. Yeah. Neither was like the turnbuckle in the corner. So I'm like, that was like, it was obvious. And I'm like, yo, you know, you can't,
Klump, did
you can't do that. I mean, so they're also putting that narrative out there that the refs really don't mean anything either. So why don't you just not have refs and just let it be, you know, Wild Kingdom out there?
I didn't catch it, but then honestly, I've just been so fucking done with the refs. I'm not really catching anything. I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like when I pay attention to the refs, I feel more and more upset with them week by week.
Yeah,
so
I've started ignoring them for the most part too. Let's see in the chat a little bit.
That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the the company's ignoring them. Why can't I?
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Kira says AEW's WCW 2.0. I wish I could argue that. Let's see. She's annoying. Wants to be the star of every match she's in. Max Caster's line about MJF singing "You Are My Sunshine" got me to laugh.
Yeah, that was a good line.
I hear you. I skipped a lot of this. I just fast forwarded through a lot of it. Let's see. MJF always feels like Glee to me, like he knows he's acting, kind of just kills it. And Chris says, can we just name the WCW Wednesday Night Nitro? I mean, I call it Saturday Night Live Dynamite. But
It's sad when the YouTube show is a better produced show than the actual show that's live.
Because they focus on the wrestling.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, the show, they're like, well, we got to balance all the other shit into it. If you just did wrestling, you're okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean but I think that's too much. That's too much to ask for. But I will say, I did like this week on AEW Dark that the Acclaimed had this little music video, and I thought that was really cool. So I hope they let them do more of that, because I thought that was really fun.
all right. Let's see, and Kuro's going to say, also, I'll just say it again for chat's sake now, AEW prides itself on not caring if they're competing with WWE, then books their women's tournament for a Monday. Yeah. I was going to mention that in a minute, but let's just talk about it now. I mean, the Thunder Rosa and Layla Hirsch match was pretty good, a pretty decent match, maybe one of the better ones of the night. I did watch majority of that match. It was the first match they had for the Women's World Title Eliminator Tournament, which again sounds like a child named it. I'm sure that's exactly what Tony Khan had named all of his E-Fed tournaments. It's an eliminator tournament, dude. So they did this match, and then they announced afterwards all the other matches, and the next like 7 matches are for Monday on YouTube. So it made me laugh because it was like, oh, nothing's changing. They make these announcements like, hey, we're going to do this big thing. We're going to do this huge tournament with all these women to prove to you that we're backing women's wrestling. And then they go, no, we're still going to have just one match of non-AEW talent on the show, because the next week is Serena Deeb versus Riho, the NWA champion against Riho, which, I mean, I guess they're both AEW signed, but that's their match next week. But in the meantime, all of their women's matches will be on YouTube, where they can hide them. Klump, what do you think about this?
I agree. It does feel... I mean, I don't want to say half-assed. It feels deliberate, but it feels like somebody challenged them. Like, you really, like, wrestling community online, everywhere I'm watching, wrestling stuff, they're really, really more and more critical of AEW's women division. It's kind of laughable, and it feels like they had this awesome idea everyone got super hyped for, and then they're like, "Psych, motherfuckers, try and find it."
Yeah,
we did the work.
It is also going to be on the same time as Raw, which I think is hysterical because it feels like they're being like, oh, yeah? You think NXT is going to take away our ratings? Well, we'll take away your ratings for Raw. Because Raw always gets like 1 million more viewers than AEW every week. I don't see this being a big needle mover, to be honest, but what do I know? Amanda?
Plus, like...
Go ahead, Klump.
Plus, if you're watching Raw, in most places... you also can also watch YouTube at the same time. It's not like, the ye olden days where you have to watch TNT or USA. It's just like, oh, this is on. I can kind of go between segments.
Yeah, also it's YouTube, and there's no... it's YouTube several days before their weekly show. There's no urgency there. I could watch it on Tuesday or something.
Well, there's some urgency. They could also do YouTube several days after the weekly show and just totally have forgotten it, and then be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Whoop. Amanda, what do you think about this?
Well, there's no way it's going to be live, because all the Japanese people, that's got to be taped. Yeah. So, I think it's stupid what they're doing. And if Tony Khan thinks, because putting it up against Raw, if everyone's like, "Oh no, he doesn't care what WWE does," well, I think he does, because why would you put it there at that time?
Yeah, why couldn't it be your next dark?
Yeah,
why couldn't you have a dark that's dedicated to...
Yeah, you could have used a dark. You could have... Dark's already... Well, actually, this week was nice because it was only really an hour and a half. It wasn't like 2 hours, 3 hours like it has been. Yeah. So that was kind of nice. But I'm thinking that, they could have done it at another time. Like, people are watching Dark on Tuesdays. You have that audience. Just show it then. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
I don't make those decisions. But I really think that they're trying way, way, way too hard with the tournament. I think now that I look back on it, I'm like, it's not going to really help their women's division. I think it's
going
more
to get a few paydays out there, and in that regard, I'm glad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
not
feel
gonna,
there's a pressure to watch or anything.
Yeah, but they're not going to elevate anything, and it's not going to get people into Joshi wrestling. I mean, that if that was like a goal of the Japanese wrestlers and stuff, and bringing them to AEW, I think is the big thing. I mean, I love Aja Kong, but
I'm telling you right now, if Serena Deeb loses to Riho next week, I'm going to be pissed.
She won't lose to Riho. I don't think so.
Better not. But I have a feeling
I don't think so.
It's
I'm
Riho's
calling
big
out
return.
in advance just in case.
You know what? No, because you know what? You got to think of it this way. If she beats Serena, then she also can wrestle for the NWA title, right?
Yeah. Why would I want to see that?
I don't want to see that either. But NWA really is this one entity. It's like it kind of only really exists now through AEW.
Yeah.
And actually with Marquez and his productions, a little bit, but it's really living through AEW now. So, you'll see that anyways. But I mean, honestly, like I hope not, but you never know. You never know. So I'll just say that. But I think if you're to predict a winner, like if I were to predict a winner right now, I'd say they're going to give it to Thunder Rosa. And I think
that's what I'm afraid of. I think they could use this to actually propel someone off of Thunder's back, because Thunder Rosa is so hot right now. She's got the whole world behind her. I thought if they were super brave, if Tony weren't a coward, he'd have given Layla Hirsch the win, and then Layla would have been their next Rey Mysterio. Because Layla Hirsch can go. She's crazy good. She's just undersized and doesn't talk the language. So a tournament like this, getting a huge win over like a Thunder Rosa, and then becoming an underdog of the people, could have been amazing. Could have been star-making. I've never booked a territory, but neither has Tony. So,
no, but
fair to suggest.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be their way of getting Thunder Rosa to actually sign the paper and come aboard. I don't know.
See,
Klump? That's what I'm thinking.
Hi.
What's your take? Anything else on that?
They need Thunder Rosa. But the amount that she's holding, like, I don't know what the separation is, why she's not going there. I think it's Mission Pro, it's NWA, but I also, think it's AEW itself. They need to put work in to show this off. And I don't know, a part of me wants to think that maybe she's very, very much looking at how they're treating talent and is like, I'm not fucking joining this, because she sees that everyone or your women, your division's just fucked.
It's got to be a little unsettling to know that you're the most exposed talent they have on the women's roster, and knowing full well you're not on the women's roster, nor are you their champion. Nor are you the secondary champion that's also contracted to them. That's got to feel a little bit... It's got to feel good, like, oh, God, look how cool I am. But there's part of you that's got to be going, if I was in someone else's shoes right now, I'd be pretty fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah, and she's friends with all the other women.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure they all love her and support her in that regard. I don't think that anyone takes it personally on that level, and they all know how good she is. But there's got to be just a business aspect of it where you go, fuck, man, I'm your goddamn champion, and I can't get enough TV time as someone who's literally trying to build their own promotion somewhere else.
And, I mean, I know that Nyla's going to be on their show soon, so it's like, why are the women now having to go outside of the company?
Yeah, Nyla's next match is going to be a Mission Pro. Nyla Rose, your former champion, is getting booked by Mission Pro because you won't put her on TV. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh, so is Vicky going to be there with her?
Oh, I hope. I hope.
I mean, I think it's Billy Corgan. I mean, I don't know, like, because he only really now has of the NWA, what was the new NWA. I think he only really has like maybe 2 people still.
Yeah. I think he's just got contracted. I think it's Trevor, Thunder, Nick Aldis, and Pope.
Oh yeah, that's 3. Okay, I forgot about Trevor Murdoch. Yeah, those are the only.
Because Pope's their other champion, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think when they put a championship on you, I think they have you sign something. But
yeah,
I don't
think
contracts.
so.
No?
Well,
that's right.
Someone was only champion for 2 days, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but that could have been the decision. We knew that by the end of that weekend.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so if it was really,
he didn't know. He didn't know that.
But they did.
But they did, but he didn't know.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have had to sign anything because they knew it was going to be short term.
Yeah.
Where if they know they're going to put that on you and they don't see a way to get it off you for the next year, they're probably going to sign something. I would think. I don't know. I don't understand contracts. Klump.
I don't know. I'm
going to go back to you, Klump. You had said you had a few bullet point things you definitely want to talk about. I don't know that there's anything else to say about this women's thing, but what were some of the other bullet points you wanted to bring up?
I mean, for me, like, just kind of quick things I want to throw. I liked Kenta's spots. I didn't like the match overall. And when Kenta came through, he was really fucking good. He is fantastic. I think he showed everyone up. Which, that's just me. I also, just wanted to throw out there. Yeah, we already kind of covered the Sammy stuff. That's pretty much it for me. But yeah, I thought Kenta was pretty awesomely utilized here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see more NJPW. But then I don't know. I watched this and part of me was like, wow, Kenta's a lot better than a lot of the people here. Okay. And he's not the best person in New Japan by a lot.
No.
Yeah, I skipped the match altogether, I'm going to be honest, because once they said it was a no holds barred, no DQ, street fight, all things go, I was like, okay, I don't need to see them fight their way back to the kitchen and concession stands again. I don't need to see another sloppy Moxley fight that doesn't make any sense and oversells the potato, but he'll oversell a microphone, but he won't sell a car. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't interested in it. And to be honest, I watched Wrestle Kingdom with Kenta's match that he had, and halfway through that match, I turned it off because even when I've never seen a Kenta match that made me go, oh shit, this dude's something else. I watched all of Hideo Itami in NXT. I've watched him in NJPW. Just kept waiting for the hype. And I think maybe I missed it. Maybe it was all before NXT. And at this point, he's something else. But I wasn't impressed. So to hear this showing of him was really good and exciting. So I hope we get an awesome match out of it. Amanda, go ahead and talk about any other bullet points you had. And I don't want to.
Well, speaking of that match, I mean, I thought that Kenta, it was for me, it was like typical Kenta. It was really, he did have good spots. But for me in Bullet Club, he's not the one that I really want to watch. The ones I really want to watch are Ishimori and ELP, El Phantasmo. Those two are the junior tag champions, and boy, God, those guys are good. I mean, that's someone I would love, a pair that I would love to see over here on AEW, because boy, they can give that whole tag division an ass kicking. I don't even think the Bucks could beat them, and even on a good day.
Oh yeah, but they would.
No,
and they would make them sell a flip.
No, I don't think they would, because honestly, I think that at first they were really good at not really pushing their agenda, but lately, since we have this new Bullet Club and this Impact thing and Kenny, I think that now they're being forced to put their agenda out there. Yeah. So I don't know, but I also, Kenny, this was New Japan Kenny and not this weird AEW like Kenny Light, I'll call him that, for lack of a better term. You could see some of that viciousness and that side that he had when he was the cleaner. So I definitely appreciated that.
Klump, do you agree with that? Because I know you were huge on Kenny coming into the company, and you've been pretty disappointed with a lot of his performances so far. Did you feel like there was a reinvigoration there during that one?
In the match, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Just strictly in the match, did you feel like the match felt like more in that direction?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He needs to get away from Don Callis.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right. Amanda, back to you.
Yeah, and then I think one of the people that I think was a really I think he was kind of the underdog in this whole thing, but Archer, man, he's pretty brutal. And I do love that they, mentioned that, he was in New Japan before. I mean, they had mentioned, 3 of these 4 have been champions in New Japan and blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
Yeah, because I don't know, he wasn't tag champion when he was with Suzuki-gun with Davey Boy Smith. But he's one too that I'm like, damn, if you utilize him right, it's great. I mean, I would love him and Mox to be in a program, but I don't want Mox to get over. That's the thing. I'm like, your shit's the same.
Well, they already did that, and it was awful. Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay, well,
Justin Time in chat even says, I feel so bad for Lance Archer. He came in with a rocket pack strapped to his back, and now I can't even describe how much he's fallen.
Yeah,
I
they
agree
need
with that too.
They need Davey Boy Smith Jr. That's the only way.
I don't know what they need right now. I'm going to be honest with you, because I keep thinking like, oh, this talent's going to do something. Oh, this talent will be great. This talent's got a lot of stuff. Look at Miro. Going over there, I thought, this is fantastic. Who better than Miro to show up and really shake things up, really go in there and show that he's been misused, that he was underutilized because of how good we know he can be, and he's been a fucking whoopee cushion.
I kind of think it highlights the.
I mean, didn't they even have a segment? I think they had a segment with him. Hold
on. Producer had something she wanted to say real quick.
I think it just kind of highlights the need for a creative team, and that maybe all performers aren't the best storytellers, beyond, I don't know, just conceptually thinking long term.
Yeah, none of them are trained or ever had to, right? They've always been written for, or at least on the indies, and the indies are not the same as what you would do in long-term storytelling, because you're in small regions for small periods of time. Amanda, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that with why did I just blank out what I was going to say?
Miro.
With Miro, I think they had a segment, and I'm like, dude, you're Kip's bitch. That's all you are. Weird. I just don't. There's no value to you. You look like a very cartoony version of yourself, or a cartoony version of Rusev, but because he has that move that looks like he's Donkey Kong at the beginning of Donkey Kong. I mean, I just don't see it. It's like, do you need your wife there to make you look a little better? I mean, I don't know, but they totally.
And here's the worst part is that, even so, most time you see pairings and such, and you go, oh, this will eventually break down into an amazing rivalry, like a DIY turning into Gargano and Ciampa, which a lot of people speak very highly of. I was not as into as others, but I understand. I don't see a world where it's like, oh, eventually Miro and Kip will be head to head, and that'll be something. No. There's nothing about that sounds the least bit interesting.
Yeah.
No, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anybody on the roster that you can really pair up Miro against, except for Archer.
I think you have to put him in the main event scene, and they're just not going to do that, because I think that he actually has a lot more star power than who's up in the main event scene. Yeah. So they have to keep him floundering in these little things. Go ahead, Klump.
Yeah, he needs to appear in some tournament they do, and show well, win it possibly, and that would be a cool surprise, and then he could show some power. Maybe have a tag thing with him and Kip, and he, there's a loss or win with some debate, and that's their breakup.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that.
I mean, you
That's
say
that,
debate
that-
though, and that makes me nervous because of what they've done in the show before.
Oh yeah. Not a literal debate. Please, God, no more literal debates.
And no more musicals, please. No.
I'd rather have musicals than a fucking debate.
No, that was awful. That was awful. And what also was awful?
Go ahead.
Segue to this. Team Taz. Did you really have to drag Darby Allin in a body bag behind a car? I mean, no.
I saw it, and I was not all that interested.
No. I'm like, come on. I'm like, Ricky Starks, you're better than that.
Yeah.
Cage, you're better than that. Will fucking Hobbs, you're better than that. Well, he wasn't the one in the.
You're that. You're exactly that, Taz.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, Ricky shouldn't have given away the other body bag. He should have kept it if they were going to do this. Yeah, because no one paid for it. So, but yeah, no, I really think that that was just horrible. Now it just makes me cringe when I think about what's going to happen at Revolution, because this is your cinematic match, and I don't know. Apparently next week, Sting is calling the boys out. I don't know. It's just the same thing. Like there's snow. He comes out, says 2 words or a sentence, and then Taz opens his big jobber and blah, 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 and yeah.
It's going to be some sort of body bag match?
There's going to be a body bag. I think there'll probably be lots of other weird things. There's going to be lots of skateboards with thumbtacks on them. Yeah. Lots of bats. I mean, I don't. Spots. Yeah, I don't know. This one's really weird because you've the 2 Team Taz people aren't really. They're not spot monkeys. So
yeah,
it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna have Cage come and like lift Sting up over his head and like do like military presses with him or something? I mean, I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like. I just don't see it. I see a loss for them. I don't see anything coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, Sting's gonna go over in that match. Sting's winning it, and I think that's
and Ricky's gonna take the fall with it. But I think the only thing that can happen is that he is like, you know what? I'm tired of being the fucking bitch of Team Taz because I'm better than this shit, and he goes his own way. Because he doesn't need anybody. He's got his own fucking voice.
Yeah. That's actually what I was most excited about with Sammy breaking away from Inner Circles. I just would like to see anybody away from Inner Circle to see what they can do on their own. Klump, you got something you wanted to say? What were you thinking?
I was gonna say, like, the entire time, like when we talked about Sting and we first started saying, and they're like, "Oh, he wasn't on tonight. Is it paid by thing?" All I know, guys, is checks cleared. Sting's coming back.
Producer, something she wanted to say?
I was wondering if anyone else noticed that Moxley is on this other TBS show. So it seems like the talent is like, I don't know, hopping around to different shows to get more eyes on the product.
Yeah, it was a little game show cameo thing. It looked really weird. He was talking about picking up dog poop with his bare hand.
That was weird.
Kind of like in the early 90s in WCW when they had like Baywatch. You had a lot of WCW talent appear.
Yep. Pack Blue and such. Let's see. Kira was saying this in the chat, that this is a quote from Eric Bischoff. I think the creative process will be one that will remain fluid in AEW because I think above all else they value the creative process and they value the flexibility that some talent have the opportunity to enjoy. But I think at some point, they would have to rethink that the way they approach creative, but that would be true for any company. Yeah, I can see that. I can understand the idea of the conversation, but I feel like there's just no vision there, and I feel like it's so obvious that it's getting tough. Kiro's asking if Miro's a CEO and EVP in charge of creative or anything. If not, he won't get anything. That's true. Or part of the first 20 people that they signed. Something keeps going weird with your guys' stream. Oh, that's us. I don't know. One of the things that I saw in the main event because I saw a couple little clips, was that there was another spot where the referee is like trying to hold all their props in place so they could do these goofy things that they want to do. And I think anytime the referee has to help you, there's an issue. If you can't make it look like anything without the ref holding it together. It's one thing when you see a ref, like in Evolution, there's a really cool spot where Kyoto kind of pulls back on Becky's gear to keep her weight from shifting too much as she's powerbombing Charlotte out of the ring. But you could also tell that he didn't need to be there for that. He just was being that aware and trying to make sure that everyone's safe. And that's one thing. But when you're like literally having the ref hold two tables together and put their weight down and say, okay, you guys are good to go, maybe do something else. You know, the ref shouldn't be helping you in the match.
I don't think Paul Turner wants that on his watch. He doesn't, you know, I mean, of all the refs, I mean, he's the one that's probably the most attentive. I mean, he has to be.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I can see that. And especially because you've got, you know, two dudes, you know, Mox and Archer, who you don't even know what they're going to damn do. And they're, you know, yeah. So. But
he shouldn't be involved in their spots that way. If they need him that way, then something's wrong. Klump, you had something you want to say?
I was going to say, it does feel like when you mention that, and we've seen this a lot in AEW, it feels... I mean, I always go back a lot to like weird school analogies with this because it feels so underdone. But it feels so much like, you know... rather than do less with more, they're just like, oh, well, we could totally do this if we figure this out. And as it gets more and more just out of whack, there's nobody calming them down and saying, well, how about this? It just feels, it feels so roundabout. It feels so over the top, like how I'm not able to get to the point in this analogy. That's how their matches are like my analogies.
Yeah. Coffee driven, pointless, no direction or something to glue it all together. Yeah,
it's
like
so dreadful.
The idea like that they might
Jolly
like
Rancher red, you know, Jolly Ranchers.
Like if you know you're about to get on a bunch of tables that have wheels, maybe look and see if there's a way to lock those wheels into place instead of saying, "Hey ref, hold these together because it's going to be cooler that way." What? No. Any other points you guys want to bring up about it? Klump, you had something?
No, I'm good.
Amanda, was there anything you thought we missed on this one?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, I say we talk about NXT because I watched all of that and that was pretty sick. I do think that there with the pay-per-view coming up, that it is a bit interesting that we have a few matches already set up for Vengeance, and none of them feel story-driven. You know what I mean? Like I think the big issue that NXT has is that they give us reasons but not story. So it's like, I know why the match is happening, but I kind of don't care that we got here. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably the big thing. I think it's their big issue is they've got a really good way of saying like, oh yes, this guy's going to attack this person, and then there will be a match. We're all like, but why longer? Yes,
it does feel like it would be better if they focused like... It's still so much better than AEW, but they used to be so story focused. You know, they had stories that stretched out over a year and they were amazing. And now, you're right, it makes sense. Like, we have a tournament. Yeah, this is going on for the title. Yeah, this and that. But it doesn't connect to anything. And maybe, if nothing else, let's take advantage of a pay-per-view and like let it lay out stories.
Yeah, and I think that the things the way they're trying to add story to it does feel like pretty shotgunned, right? So like even when you look at Martinez and Tony and Io in those matches, or that match they got coming up, there's not a ton of story there, and they're kind of piecing it together, and it makes sense, but it's been so short term that you're just kind of like, okay, I guess I could see why those people would want to fight for that title. You know what I mean? But you don't feel like passionately involved in it. But you do feel like it's going to be an awesome match I want to see. Like Dunn and Balor, I want to see that match so bad because I've wanted to see that match for so long. But when you look at the story of it all, there's no story at all. You know? There's no real payback. There's no real blood feud there. But this match is going to go off like there was a blood feud. Even with O'Reilly and Balor, dude literally broke the other guy's jaw, and you still felt like there was kind of a lack of motivation for some of it. And then you're like, I guess they're teaming now. Like, it seems like a super respectful, competitive place, which is a little bit weird for wrestling, I guess, is what I'm saying. But with all that in mind, I wonder if part of the feeling of that, though, is that we're in the middle of these two tournaments. And you can't have a ton of story inside a tournament. There's only so much story you can tell in a tournament. So maybe we're just so in the middle of the storm here that it's going to be on the other side of the tournament where we say, okay, now all these stories are going to start fleshing out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. I part of me thinks it's because, I mean, all these people that they are signing and bringing up into NXT right away, kind of in a way, it's like, okay, well, how do they these people kind of fit into a storyline? Where is it going to go? So I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's lacking that way. Because I'm actually shocked that some of the other people they've signed haven't debuted yet in that same class that MSK and they've changed the name. Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty. Yeah.
Triple H did say in some call, I don't know what the call was, but there was an audio clip of it where he said that this coming up class of the PC is going to be the single biggest group signing of women in the history of the PC.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's cool. I mean, they usually bring in like 2s and 3s and 4s and stuff. I'm like, we might see some fucking like women's basketball team looking roster photo like you'd see at all the Wings bars out here when it shows the women's basketball calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about when you go, because we live in a college town. I'm wondering if we're going to see some sort of picture like that where it's like, here's a class photo. And you're just like, Jesus.
Yeah. All the, like the Shimmer roster.
The whole Shimmer roster.
Yeah. And international people. Yeah. No, I mean.
They don't even list the name. They just say, we've signed Shimmer. It just shows all of them. Oh, shit.
Yeah. We gave Dave Prazak some money, a lot of good money. And he said, okay, here you go. Yeah. I don't need to be like, not Lagon. What's his face? Gabe.
What?
Sapolsky.
Gabe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shady. Anyways.
I will say, though, as we get into it, MSK versus Legado del Fantasma was kind of exactly what you thought it would be. It was pretty cool. As soon as I saw Legata and Lucha House Party teaming up, and I saw the other side of the bracket, and I was like, oh, we're getting ourselves to MSK versus Fantasma. And it was pretty cool, man. It was really awesome. I think MSK is the benchmark for tag team wrestling when it comes to flips and high spots. I feel like the way that I think that the Young Bucks think that they're Ricochet, I think that all the other tag teams think that they're MSK. And you go, no, these guys are a different level of actual natural movement. And I don't mean like that these other people don't have any skill or talent. The way that MSK and Ricochet move is fluidly natural. They go, oh, that's just how they just ended up there. They found themselves. What luck. Like how AJ's always on the outside of the ring. All of a sudden you go, oh my God, he's found himself on the outside of the ring. I guess he's going to go for the Phenomenal Forearm. You know what I mean? But you never, but you never figure out how he got there. You're just all like, oh, he got knocked out, but he held himself up. And now he's in luck. Like that's what it's like watching MSK and Ricochet, where these other guys, you're like, or are they going to walk over there to catch that guy? And they're like, we better get over here and catch this guy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. But I think the match was awesome. I really liked that they did that tag maneuver to the outside. Looked good, looked solid, made connection. That's the thing I love about these guys, I think, the most, is that they make connection. They don't look like they're slapping a dude. They don't look like they're landing next to someone and then their arm pulls them down. This dude, kneed one dude in the chest while his upper body hit the other guy. I was like, fuck yes. Klump, what'd you think of this? Pip?
Oh, you have a stroke there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rebooting. Carry on.
No, I thought it was a fucking good match. MSK, I went from not giving shit, honestly, when they came out, I was like, oh, cool. Another flippy team. Great.
Yeah.
But no, I love them now. And I think the work they do is absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to see more of them. I think it's just going to get better and better. And I'm totally pumped for them to win.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's why I didn't watch them in Impact. I'd heard of the Rascals for years, but I was like, it's just more of those flipping guys who just flip. And now that they're here, I'm all like, fuck. How many of their matches did I miss? Because now I got to go back. Amanda, what'd you think about this?
Well, you know how I feel about MSK. I freaking love
hate
them.
Oh.
Oh, no. But, this was, for me, it was kind of like, okay, they've gotten to wrestle and show the universe the different
Clever.
styles they can do, like, wrestle against. And I think that's what's really sets them apart from everything. So I know they're going to win. And if they don't, that's an injustice. And AAA needs to be slapped. I'll slap them. But yeah, no. Or whoever's in charge, I don't know. But yeah, they have to, because that's basically the gold standard of tag teams right now. I don't think, because a pure tag team, I mean, those are few and far between to see. I mean, granted, I would have loved to see an FTR versus MSK, or when they were the Rascals. I would have loved to see that. But
Dude, can you imagine? Because think about how good the Usos versus FTR was.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't wait for them.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to wrestle the Usos. I mean, I've seen them twice, Santana and Ortiz, and it was magical. One was a ladders match. Think about them doing a ladders match. Oh shit! It was like ballet. It was that fucking beautiful, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like ladders matches, make me cringe, but this one, it was just smooth. And I was thinking, damn, when you're that good and you can make a ladder match look really good, that says something, because usually no one makes a ladder match look good, but these guys did it. And I think that, it just, that's their thing. I mean, they could have day one gone to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be like Ricochet, where it's going to be very, very quick in NXT, and then they're going to move on. I think
can you imagine though if they create a faction with Ricochet on the main roster?
That would be great. But
go up against Retribution.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is with Ricochet, I don't even know what they're trying to do with Ricochet.
I was going to say don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like a waste.
Go ahead, Klump. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, that'd be really awesome. I just hope they figure out what the fuck they're doing with Ricochet first.
Yeah, but that could be the thing that they do with Ricochet. Bring up MSK and say, hey, I've been up here trying to figure it out, but I got my buddies now, and I'm not going to get pushed around anymore. I'm not the one and only, the three and only.
What was that?
I don't know.
What?
Mm.
You guys not on board? What? Nailed it. I killed that. I'm basically Jim Johnston right now.
Okay.
All themes are just done in that style now.
Yeah. 100% of them. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Anything else about this match other than MSK better win this whole goddamn thing or it's been rigged?
No.
Here's the other thing I think about this match, because as we lead towards the grizzled young vets, I guess that was towards the end, but anyways, as we lead towards the grizzled young vets against MSK in the finals at Vengeance, I'm so happy that it's two tag teams that are, because so many of the Dusty Cups have been an amalgamation of random singles pairings dominating the entire series. Like, hey, all you tag teams who've been working so hard for so many years as a single unit ain't shit when you just got two dudes who don't want to be a tag team being pinned together and forced to do it. You're like, what? I always think that's what they're doing, but I'm really glad that's not what's happening here. Anything on you guys on there?
That's how the women's tournament is.
It's
Two
100%
random.
there.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, good tag teams are hard to find who are tag team wrestlers. So yeah. I mean, that's where, if you've got one, you really want to highlight that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. After that was the Xia Li spot there with Boa and was it Tien Sha versus Cora Jade. This match is terrifying. Xia Li scares the shit out of me, dude.
Xia Li's homie scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. This is terrifying stuff. She wields a sword better than literally anybody in the business who currently wields a sword.
How many other? Well,
Yeah, who
Drew
wields the
McIntyre.
sword?
Drew McIntyre comes out there with Vince McMahon's sword gripped tightly in his hand for him to plunge it into the
Oh,
depths.
that. Oh.
It is
Yeah.
a claymore, to be fair, and it's actually Tripp's sword.
No, it was a gift that Triple H and Stephanie gave to Vince.
Oh, Trips gave it to Vince?
Yeah. You're all like, damn it. Yeah, they talked about it. And Drew even said it on an interview like the next day. He's like, yeah, that was wild, huh? It's Vince's. It was a gift. And I was like, why are you saying that? You just told us on Raw it was fucking your grandfather's. Can't you kayfabe it for 1 year? You couldn't even kayfabe it for a day for me. Please let me think it's in your lineage. But it's Vince McMahon's sword, and he goes out there, grips Vince's sword tightly and firmly, and then plunges it into the ground as flames burst around him in a billowing Mackin-fart. And here, Xia Li comes out with a sword and goes, I could kill everyone in this room in 3 seconds. And you go, oh, shit.
Yeah. And
awesome.
I think what you could do that'd be really cool is you could kind of give her an ability to use a weapon like that. Like, it doesn't have to be that she, cuts someone's fucking head off, but like
Well,
a kendo. Imagine her with a kendo stick.
I know, dude. I'm terrified for it when someone finally challenges to some sort of kendo stick
Thump,
match.
thump,
Yeah.
thump, 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 thump.
Yeah. Like, I can't wait for the moment where she's in a story with someone, and they say, like, I want this to be some sort, and then they say, like, a kendo stick match, and her only response is she just starts laughing hysterically and leaves.
Mhm.
And you go, oh, fuck.
I didn't make a good choice, did I? Nope.
Yeah. Wait, I didn't mean it. Let's see. Casey and Caden were out there in the beginning begging Boa and Zaya's confidant to leave Zaya alone because this isn't how she is, and please leave her alone. This isn't who she is. And she goes, bitch, this is exactly who I is, and kicks the shit out of them too.
So happy.
Oh my god, it was insane. I know that Amanda had missed a good chunk of this. I do think that the WWE Network posts it the next day in its entirety. So that's probably, if you get the chance, I would say after the show tonight, if you want to watch, it's only like 5-10 minutes long. Zip over to the section with her. It's insane.
I'm waiting for Peacock because I already have Peacock, so I want that. And I want my goddamn amusement park too, by the way. I did forget about that.
Me too. I keep thinking about it and no one's talking about it. It's pissing
Yeah,
me
no
off.
one's talking about it. So I think we need to put that buzz out there again. I want my damn amusement park.
We're gonna have to buzz it.
Motherfuckers.
Can you see like a scary ride with Zaya
I don't want to.
and the weird lady? That'd be creepy. That'd be totally like
terrifying.
horrifying. And her with her sword.
Mr. Fiend's Wild Adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Yeah. Mhm. I'd be
Klump,
open.
anything else about this segment here that was just terrifying and murderous?
I like just that. It was terrifying, murderous, and I loved it. Yeah.
So good. Xia Li is so good. Go ahead.
Oh hell yeah. No, Xia Li's amazing. The only thing I didn't like was fucking Caden and Casey. But that's also kind of because right now they got a little bit of heat outside of things for things.
Yeah, I mean they can be stupid about things in their personal life. I don't know. They're just being. I think that there's sometimes a witch hunt for things. That goes beyond just simple accountability. Sometimes people just do stupid things, and you go, "That was stupid," and you can move on. Other times, the internet tries to take people's head off, and you go, "It was just a regular dumb thing, though. This wasn't like an offensive, horrible act."
No, I'm not saying I don't want them to be fired, but I'm just saying right now I'm like, for them because of that. Like,
exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I could take you or leave you for right now if you do better. Cool, learn from it. But right now,
That's true. Right now, they came out, and I was kind of like, here comes those dummies. You know what I mean? I was probably supposed to cheer for them, like, these guys are kind of dumb.
Yeah. Everyone will love them. Internet Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Xia Li, though, is awesome. And I am curious. I think that maybe we'll get some cool Kaden and Casey stuff because I think that the three of them might work well together, but we'll see. We shall see. Let's see. Women's Dusty Cup, Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon versus The Way. This was surprisingly good to me. I'm going to be honest. I had reservations about this match going into it because I think that Shotzi she's got a big appetite, so she goes for big things, and sometimes they don't land right, and so it comes off way wrong, right? She always sees something that she wants to do and goes for it, and it's cool and it's crazy, but half the time it's not successful, and you go, that didn't look good.
Yeah.
So I was concerned with that. I was concerned with Indy Hartwell. She still seems relatively new to this, and most of her in-ring that we've seen has looked good, but in the promising sense, not in the main event sense. So the idea of Shotzi and Indy on opposite teams, I was like, that's a lot of work for Ember and Candice to do to try and make this thing come together. But I felt like all four of them were just firing on all cylinders, and they were all in sync. And there was like two little things here and there that were just nothing, where I was kind of like, but the match itself just came out fantastic. I loved this match. What did you guys think? Klump, we'll start with you.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a fucking good match. I like the surprise, the kind of feel good surprise of it. I liked how they just stopped the segment prior and kept going. And I like Shotzi and Ember, and I think, I hope they win it. I mean, either team I could see winning it, and either team I could see holding the women's tag belt and being fantastic with it. I would rather see Shotzi and Ember, because I think they both have just... Shotzi's just showing up so well, and Ember's, never been bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think the match...
burst your bubble.
Go for it.
The winner gets a tag team title shot. Who are your tag team champions right now?
Oh. Yeah, but they ain't doing shit with the damn belts.
They aren't, but it's Shayna and Nia, which means you're not going to have heels win this tournament, so that means it has to be Shotzi and Ember.
Cool with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little bubble burst for me, too. Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, your only two actual tag teams here were The Way and Casey and Kaden. And you crushed Casey and Kaden to make way for The Way. So it's like, well, then The Way's got to go the whole way. But then they don't go the whole way because they're heels. So they're out of the way.
That hurt my
No
brain.
way.
That's a lot of ways.
But it was a fantastic match, and I agree. I like the idea of it. And I think that even Shayna and Nia and Ember and Blackheart could probably put on a really cool show. Amanda, what do you think about this?
I really enjoyed it. And I want to go back to what you were saying about with Shotzi, and, she loves these crazy, weird, big things. Well, there's no one better to kind of do that with than Candice LeRae. I mean, honestly, she's seen it all. And I think that when you have someone who kind of knows and has done that kind of shit before, you're pretty great at, taking it and then giving it back out. And I think that really kind of helps set the bar with that. And I think that just all of them look fantastic.
That's cool.
I think, yeah, definitely, I think that they're going to have Shotzi and Ember Moon win. I'm pretty sure because, there's not much, for the women really to do unless you're moved up. So, that's kind of where that kind of lies. But I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I was really blown away by this one just because I when I saw it on paper, I was all like, well, let's see what we get. Went in there with an open mind, but I was thinking, I don't know about this. There's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of potential on both sides for here, and they completely knocked it out of the park. Surprised me, gave me a nice, humbling plate of crow. So it was awesome. It's fantastic. I loved it.
Delicious, delicious crow.
Yeah. Let's see. We had Austin Theory and Kushida. So let's just talk about all that stuff, because, I don't even remember this match, to be quite honest. But I remember most of it, and there's all that stuff going on with Johnny Gargano.
I liked Kushida's spot. It was really silly and good. When he came out and,
behind him?
yeah, it made me happy. It was like, this is good, silly. It wasn't extended out too long. It worked.
Yeah, and I actually thought Austin Theory did a good job with it because the way he looked over and kind of laughed and then like did a double take. He actually did it in a not overly cartoonish way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's good because it had that like look of I recognize you, but then that look of like, oh, now I've processed who you are though. So
Oh,
yeah. So it was kind of funny. I think that, God, dude, I don't get it. Like, you guys tell me if I'm way off here because I hear a lot of people talk about Gargano being the best ever and that he's on a next level and you should be studying his stuff. But I watch his stuff and he comes off like when you watch an improv class go through 8 weeks of improv class and then they do their big special at the end of it. Like when I used to go see UCB graduations, there was always one person there who was funny with most of the stuff they said, but then there was a lot of people who were just way too confident for not knowing what the fuck they're doing and just really not funny. That's the level of acting that I see out of Johnny Gargano. A guy who's way too confident in thinking and believing that he truly knows what he's doing, that he truly has comedic timing, and comes off like a high schooler who feels that way.
I agree with
Am I
that.
way off here?
No.
You're not. I mean, I would say there is a lot of talent in Johnny. He's done things. I feel like he's done things that have really shown like that he can do things, and I've like fallen for like his work. I'm like, oh, dude, you're amazing.
Yeah.
But then he does shit like this, and you're like, oh, dude. Okay, this is what. Oh, okay, we're doing this. We're focusing on this. You just begin to get more and more frustrated, and you're like, what happened to the dude in DIY who would do silly things? What happened to the dude who, you know, and it's or I don't know if it's self-sabotage or that around him. If he had won a few more pay-per-views, because the stories he told leading into some of these pay-per-view matches were so fucking amazing. Imagine if he won. Like, oh, shit. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
true.
now, yeah.
There's also a difference between being silly and being a joke. And I feel like that he's crossed that line and his character is just a joke to the point where it's like it's not funny and I can't get into it. I'm not invested in Gargano at all, and I actively do not look forward to having to sit through anything he has to say.
Yeah.
Amanda, what do you think? Am I being too hard on the dude?
No. I mean, for me personally, I've never really gotten into Johnny Gargano when he was in the indies. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, I remember really liking a lot of the stuff he did right out of DIY and with DIY.
But it's just kind of like now it's like, well, you're stuck in a hole because obviously there's nothing for you up there. So either you gotta do be the the king of the sandbox here, or you whatever. And it's just flat. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't see any greatness or anything. I mean, it's like he's almost like a shell of what he used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, you can't recreate that. It's very difficult to do it. And very few people can ever recreate what they had before.
Can you guys cover me for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I definitely think that you're not being hard on him. He's not all that.
That's what I think too. I think it's just this iteration of his character. I don't think he's a funny person. I don't think he's got comedic timing. I don't think that he has a believable way of portraying this character.
He's dry.
And I think that it makes it come off weird and corny and I mean phony. He comes off super phony and disingenuous. You're like, I don't believe any of this, and I don't find any of your jokes funny, and I don't feel that like the joke is in the not being funny. Like I have been for a long time one of the biggest fans of Zach Galifianakis, and not in the hipster sense of you should have seen him before, but quite literally, I was a big fan of his before he ever even did a movie. I used to be really into comedy and stuff. Half of his act before he got into the stuff that you see now was about the humor in awkwardness and in being not funny and believing you're funny. A lot of his stuff was that way. I used to think of his act as like art. I don't see Gargano portraying a character who thinks he's funny, but the funny part is that he's not funny or anything like that. It's just bad comedy. It's just bad.
It's a huge stretch for him, and you can tell he's uncomfortable with doing it. So, but you know,
but I think he's too confident in it. I think he's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm good at. This is what I can do.
I think that it's not that he's confident in that. I think that he's accepting what his place is and what his role is down at NXT, and knowing that, okay, you haven't gone up to the big time yet. Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Probably not. So, and as they get all of these really great people that are there, I mean, they're not going to springboard a lot of these people, you know, on up or wherever they go. So I think that that's where he kind of loses. He just kind of is there. He's stuck and he can't unstick himself.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I loved his whole story with Ciampa and all that was so great.
I know, but you see, that's the thing, because Ciampa's great, you know? He's very believable. Whereas like Johnny, it's like, come on, you're like trying to sell me a car. You're not a used car salesman and you're trying to sell me a car and you just really just don't know what you're doing. That's how I kind of see it.
That could be too. Yeah, he could have just been around so much Ciampa that it was hard not to fall into the Ciampa carrying the story.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a lot to be said for what Klump said too, because there was a while where I think it was one of our, I think it was episode 1, we talked about it, where we were leading into a takeover.
That was a good episode, by the way.
It's one of our betters.
Yeah,
we were leading into a takeover, and I talked about how I just don't care anymore. I was like, he just loses every time. It's like he's going to lose this match just like he loses every other match. And he did. He lost that match. They had a way of building him up to important matches and then having him completely like look like a fool in that match. When he lost that Chicago street fight where Ciampa was literally handcuffed behind his back and Ciampa beat him while handcuffed, I was like, what more can you say about someone and how bad they are other than literally cannot beat a man with his arm tied behind his back? You know what I mean? So I was all like, well, then what's the point? Like, and I've never rooted for him since. I understand the idea of maybe you turn him heel because people aren't rooting for him, but I also don't believe in his heel character as being shitty or phony or anything, or being legitimate either. He still comes off phony there too. So it's like, I don't know. I think I just need a break from him. I think he'd come back a little reinvented because this whole thing it's just not clicking with me at all.
Yeah, well, him and Kushida, I mean, I would be more excited for it if it was Gargano from like maybe 4 years ago.
Yes.
You know? But now it's like, you're going to lose. I'm like, I hate to, I'm like, not because, you lose all the time and whatever. No, it's like, no.
That's true too. This Kushida Gargano match is meant to be a dream match, and it's not only is it not positioned that way, but at this point with Gargano losing all the important matches he's ever had, that it just doesn't even feel like there's that possibility there. You go, it's just going to be a bunch of 1,000 miles an hour. Grim Reaper's in the chat saying hi. He says, and Johnny needed Candice to low blow Ciampa to win that final match. That's true too. He never could get it done. And the one time he got it done, he literally had to have his wife punch a dude in the balls. He still can't get it done. He never has. Johnny loser.
You know, speaking of his wife, you know, when I see them in that segment with all 4 of them, it's like she's carrying it. Like,
she's so good. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It's like
he comes off so phony with bad timing, and she comes off like really not genuine, but she comes off super believable and with actually great timing. Yeah. He's surrounded by people with awesome timing, and he thinks that he has to turn it up a notch maybe. Because I've seen that before in improv groups and stuff, where there's somebody like you also see it in American sitcoms. Like if you watch The Office, the first season, Michael Scott is kind of tame, and a lot of his humor is almost sly sarcasm or just kind of this. I mean, almost like we were talking about earlier, someone who thinks they're funny who's not, and that's the humor in it.
Yeah.
By the time you get to like season 3, everyone thinks they're the star and they're trying to see who can be loudest. That's where Gargano is when he's surrounded by all these great talent.
Yeah.
Overcompensating.
Yeah. I don't know. And
Grim
then
Reaper says the heel run's refreshing for Candice, maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that for Gargano. Go ahead, Amanda.
Well,
what were you saying?
I don't know. I feel like Candice is pigeonholed. Like
Yes.
they come as a pair. So that's why like she can't really go on because they see that, oh, he obviously needs her to
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's kind of sucky because I'd love to see her against some of those ladies, and love to see her and Sasha, and like love to see her and Bailey,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and like but he's there, so she's got to be the babysitter, and that kind of sucks.
Does kind of suck. Does kind of suck. Let me see.
What kind of sucks?
Klump?
No.
He thinks she just thinks that Candice is stuck where she's at in NXT just because that Gargano is not as good without her, and it's evident and clear that there's a possibility she's being stuck in NXT instead of getting the call up that we think that she probably deserves at this point. But
Yeah.
I knew you'd agree. Klump. Cameron Grimes accidentally invested in the right stonks. He got himself some dog coin. He was a big fan of the GameStop, and now he's rich, baby. He took that stonk to the moon. Klump, what do you think about this whole bit?
I liked it. Now, this is just a car guy thing.
Okay.
I get frustrated when we're going to be like, I have money and I'm doing amazing, and we show up in a like 10-year-old luxury car or exotic car. Like, yeah, it's a Lamborghini. It's a 10-year-old Lamborghini. It's
Yeah.
I think it's always kind of like you have talent that has money. Put
Okay.
something a little bit, put them into
Let me
something
tell you
a little
what
bit
you're missing. I see exactly what you're talking about, and you're 100% right. Let me show you where you're missing. Cameron Grimes isn't a fucking car guy. He's a swamp thing that fell on money. Dude, if I
Okay.
suddenly had $500,000 in my account, you know what car I would buy?
Mhm.
A 1999 Dodge Viper. Because that was the car when I was a kid that was fucking bitching. So that's what I want. You see what I mean? Because I don't give a shit. I mean, I might consider a Maserati if that conversation came up. But other than that, and the only reason I want a Maserati...
Don't buy a Maserati.
The only reason I want to tell you right now, because I used to work by a Maserati place, and I used to look at them all the time on my way to work. So I just go, those are nice looking cars. I don't know anything about them. Nothing. Other than the symbol is pretty cool, and I used to walk by a dealership. That's what I know. That's how
It
I
just
know
means
Cameron
you're too
Grimes.
poor to get a Ferrari. That's what a Maserati
Yes.
is.
Probably, but I've always been too poor for a Ferrari. That's what I'm saying. Cameron Grimes is Marsh striking it rich. Of course he's going to get a 10-year-old luxury car. I would exactly get a 30-year-old luxury car.
Yeah, I got a car from the 90s,
In
and
that,
I was
that
like,
capacity,
ooh.
I can get it.
Yeah, Beverly
Yeah,
Hillbillies.
Yeah, I'm a hillbilly. When producer got like a fucking 96, she's like, this might be a 97. She goes, this might be one of the newest cars I've ever owned. This was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of us didn't have, like, the best upbringing, Klump.
I've almost always bought my cars in cash. So if I couldn't save up enough money to just buy it in cash, typically around the $200 to $2,500 mark, I wasn't going to have it, man. So yeah, if I suddenly had $500,000 in my account and was like, you can buy any car you want, I'd be like, where are those 90s Vipers hanging out at?
There, I kind of.
It was my favorite Hot Wheel too.
Yeah. If I had $500,000, I'd buy a first year G wagon in the U.S. because balling out.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what that is. So
Those
I
big,
hear you.
ugly, boxy Mercedes.
Oh yeah,
They look like Isuzu Troopers.
nice.
Oh.
So that's all I'm saying is I hear you. You're not wrong, but in this aspect, I think it suits Cameron Grimes perfectly to
That
have
is
an
fair.
old luxury car.
Same with the like weird, ugly ass brown suit. I was like, okay. And I wanted him to make a joke about the glasses, like, I got my eyes fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, that means
They have
got
these things
LASIK
called
lenses.
optometrimists.
Yeah.
now I can see the moon.
Yeah. To the moon, I can see it from here.
Yeah.
My water has fizzy bubbles in it now.
There you go. But go ahead, Klump. What else did you want to say? I didn't mean to like go on a whole thing there for you, but I wanted to help bring you into this character of the Cameron Grimes.
No, I mean, in that capacity, I like it. It makes it works for me way more. Because yeah, like just the way, like down to the way he pronounced Dogecoin. Like, okay, yeah, this you work. I get it.
Yeah.
You're better than me. You're smarter than me.
And he walked ass backwards into some accidental stonks.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I'm ever gonna make it. So keep trying.
Yeah.
I dig it. I like the idea of this because even before the last time we saw Cameron, I was like, where do we go from here? And what do we do with this character who's afraid of zombies and literally just looks stinky and says to the moon? There's got to be more to this character than this. And I think this is a pretty fucking cool way to do it.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's weirdly good at this.
Yeah. I love how he embraces this comedy.
Yes.
This like hillbilly persona-ish, and I think it's just magical because I mean I don't think there's anyone else who can pull that kind of crap off, but
Yeah.
I mean he does it well. I mean
Totally
I don't know.
agree.
I don't know. It's great. I'll say that it's really great to see.
Klump?
Yeah, I'm
thought you had
happy
something.
he's back. I want to see more of him. I liked the diatribe of kiss my grits, kiss my grits, kiss my grits.
Yeah. So good, dude. It was so
I
good.
ain't
It was
fighting Dexter
surprising.
Loomis. Kiss my grits.
Yeah.
I want to see if he can outrun zombies in his 10-year-old luxury car.
Yeah. No, I love it. It was so good. It was so well done. It was because his character's also believably stupid. That it's easy to get into that. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He's got it figured out. You know, I feel like he's the type of dude who shows up and does a thing and then leaves, and people just go, "I don't know what the fuck I just saw," but that guy's got it, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. He cuts a mean promo. Let me tell you that.
Let's see. I'll talk. I mean, the main event is what the main event was. It was Thatcher and Ciampa against the Grizzled Young Veterans. It was just a really good match that had an ending with the Grizzled Young Vets getting the win, so you end up with MSK. I don't think I have anything to say about that match outside of it was just a really good match. So if you guys have something you want to say about the match, do. If not, Klump, I want you to talk about what you noticed earlier. So we'll start with Amanda. Was there anything you want to say about this match?
No, but honestly, like I would love to see MSK wrestle Thatcher and Ciampa, just because it's a totally different style, and my recollection serves me correctly. I don't think they've wrestled anybody who is that kind of style. So that would be really interesting to see. It'd be one hell of a match, but I've definitely.
And Ciampa's got history with flippy guys, so he knows how to ground those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I kind of feel like they went with the wrong team here, but then I get it in that MSK is going to the moon. And
moon.
Damn right. And they don't need to be in NXT for long. But then do Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa need to take a loss last minute? Or can they, by losing here, go into something else? I mean, other teams have lost this far too that are pretty established. Undisputed Era, various things like that. You can kind of get by. You know, it's the team that lost to the team that lost to the eventual winners. They're second place too. You know, doesn't matter if they lost, and then that team beat 30 other people to get to the final team. You're almost as good as they were.
Yeah, I think we still could get to a place where Ciampa and Thatcher hold the NXT tag titles. I think it's absolutely possible to still get there. especially without winning this. And I think that the Dusty Cup could very well be just a huge celebration of tag team wrestling, which is why they shouldn't. But they could build into such a good tag team that with a little bit more time of us just thinking of them as a tag team, could be dope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As time's gone on, I've absolutely fallen in love with Timothy Thatcher too. He's just like, he's so scary and evil.
Yeah.
Well, he was a pretty good damn tag team wrestler with Walter and Ringcom. So,
oh my God.
I mean, the two scary damn dudes right there. So I think
I pissed myself when you said it.
Sorry. But yeah, they did. I mean, there's a match. You will love this one, Klump. It was from PWG. It was, I think, Bola from 2018. And it was Ringcom versus Shingo Takagi and Ilya Dragunov.
Ooh.
It was fire. That was the last match of the night, and it was just holy shit, it was a barn burner. But I will say too that I think
dead.
it works well.
Yeah.
So with Thatcher, so in Ciampa, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of, he's always with some kind of like big, powerful, kind of mean, kind of looking dude. I mean,
big meaty men to bump meat with.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Sponsored,
it
not
worked.
sponsored. Baddragon.com. Oh, sorry. I've been told not to. Redacted. Continue, Amanda.
But yeah, no, it works for me. So who knows?
Sport.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
And I think
Klump, I got nothing more to add, so go ahead and say what you want to say, but then go ahead and take it into the thing that we were talking about earlier before the show.
Oh, I'll just jump into that because I've totally lost my train of thought. Amanda, I noticed this. I threw it to Marsh. Did you notice that Karrion Kross in his promo, he was wearing a kind of weird looking purple gray shirt?
Yeah.
With
the same shirt that Heath Ledger wore as the Joker in The Dark Knight.
With the vest.
Yeah, same. It's like, I know that pattern because I'm that nerd.
If you go to WOTR the show on Twitter, we did tweet out a comparison picture of the two side by side. Go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, nobody actually responded, but it's there.
Nobody liked it. Nobody responded. Nobody interacted with it. So it's still the best kept secret of Twitter. Get on now. You heard it here first. Literally first, because no one is looking at it.
Oh,
I'm looking at it right now.
I try.
I'm upset.
Yeah, that's the same shirt. That's the same shirt.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Pretty neat.
That's a little scary.
Makes you wonder. Klump, what does it make you think?
He even said a line in there that I think made sense for the Joker because I believe Heath Ledger made a line about if the best way to get something done is to do it yourself. And Karrion said that. I was like, okay, I like this. So I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'd like to see what happens with this,
Full on Sting from TNA.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice. Do you? I don't know why, but I'm in my mind. I could be just making it up because how your mind will play tricks on you. Did the Joker say TikTok? I thought in the bank robbery he did or something, but maybe I'm off.
Something like that.
I mean, it's not unbelievable to think that he couldn't have.
Fair.
But I just don't know the movie all the way through. I'm just wondering how much of Karrion Kross's character is actually based off of the Heath Ledger's Joker, which if that's the case, fuck, dude. It's a crazy way to take that. And what a cool spin on it, because I think one of the things, although people liked it when Sting was doing the Joker gimmick in TNA, was it was a little too on the nose. If Karrion Kross is keeping it just subtly within there, like this is part of me, I have a level of crazy there, but he's keeping his composure in a way that kind of like, I don't know, that's fucking good, man.
And it's an interesting character to connect to wrestling because the Joker is, and I'm not the biggest comic book person, but their character is like they're chaotic evil. And Karrion Kross, we didn't get to see a lot of him built up before he got hurt, But I like that idea of, imagine a 6 foot, whatever, 280 pound monster who gives no fucks about anything but creating, chaos. That sounds scary as hell.
Yeah, and it works.
Mhm.
Fucking works.
I support it.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm really, I don't know why I'm so excited about this Cross and Escobar match, because like I don't see how they suddenly interacted with each other, but they did, and here we are. Again, it's a match with a reason, but with a shallow story. But I'm super excited for this match to see how this plays out. But then I also think they're in a corner, right? Karrion's undefeated. He's a monster. He's a beast. Former champion. Never lost it. Now you have him going against your cruiserweight champion. Can he stand to take a loss from a Karrion Kross and still look like a credible champion? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this is a weird one. This is a weird one where I don't know how you get out of this without somebody looking a little bit wonky.
I agree with that. But I think he could pull it off.
Yeah. I think both characters are strong enough to actually do fine after a loss, but I do think that we also said that about Rhea Ripley, and you just don't know what's going to happen with a loss. It can shake the ground more than you'd expect. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong. And
I don't think they'd have Cross lose right now at this point in time.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't know you can
There's-
have Escobar
you
lose
can't.
either.
Yeah, you just
But you can't have Escobar lose.
Yeah, but I think Escobar would be fine.
I think Escobar could lose.
And,
Like, I think
yeah.
how
and he
I
still
think
has
how-
relevance and everything. So yeah, no, yeah. With Cross, all
Klump?
of this stuff, and then having Edge and him,
Yeah.
from last week. I mean,
That's
yeah,
true. You got to make him
you
look like
gotta-
he's on top. Klump,
Yeah.
what were you thinking?
I was gonna say, I think it could work because Cross coming back has just had these incredibly, quick squash matches. If
Yeah.
he comes out and Santos doesn't win, but he doesn't lose. He loses slowly. It's a long kind of drawn out battle. Then both look great,
Yeah. Yeah, I think they could. I think it's possible. I think there's a way to do it. I think that we just like to pretend we know what we're talking about, when really we just like talking about wrestling because it's fun too. So I think there's definitely a possibility. It makes me really intrigued because I feel the same way. How can you have Cross lose right now? He's just interacted with Edge. He's got it. He's talking about how he never lost the title. He's got to get back to that title picture. But how can you have Escobar lose right now? He's your current champion. He's undefeated as the cruiserweight champion. He's got no real defenders up in front of him. You can't just make it look like he can lose out of nowhere. But is Cross that on that other level? Like, I just think it makes for a really interesting match where you go, I don't know how they're going to get out of here. I hope it's not just a schmoz finish that's dumb. If you're going to do a schmoz finish, I just hope it's an interesting one and not just like Phantasmo's guys running in there and attacking them and then that's that. Because then you're just like, okay, well, that's that.
Yeah.
I want to see something more creative, I think, if you're going to have like a DQ finish. And I'm not against DQ finishes. I'm not that guy. A lot of people are like, I just want to see it 1, 2, 3 in the middle, clean. But when you obsess
up,
over that
AEW.
shit, what?
I said, shut up, AEW.
Right? And that's my problem is that when you obsess over the idea of a no DQ finish, you end up getting a lot of really shitty clean finishes where
Yeah.
everything happens that would have been a DQ just without the sense of disqualification. So I think it's just a line you gotta walk.
Yeah.
There
And
is
a
a
million
line that you can
false-
cross where all of them are DQs, or like you were about to say, a million false finishes.
Hmm.
I think that there's a balance, and I think that we could maybe find that there. But I liked that catch. I liked that eagle eye. Klump saying like, "Hey, did you happen to notice Karrion Kross was wearing a very specific shirt that Joker wore in one scene?" I'm like, "What? Of
he wore it
course
throughout
not."
the movie.
It was a series of scenes.
Yeah. I had to look at the
Maybe.
side-by-side comparison, and I'm like, yeah, that's the same
Oh, yeah.
shirt. Oh yeah.
That's why I put them side by side, because I saw it and
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, you got to show it side
Well,
by side.
And I had to watch
Go ahead.
Karrion Kross's thing over and over because if it was deliberately that subtle, that's good. It's cool, but I was like, it's so out of focus. Is it? What's the aim?
But could that just be the guy bringing that? I want to wear this shirt with a vest. Do you guys have a problem with that? No. Okay. And then that's that. You know what I mean? Like, it could not be something that the even primary creative is aware of or cared to be aware of. It didn't matter to them. Do you mind if I wear a button-up shirt and a vest? No, that sounds good. You look good like that. Okay, cool. And in his mind, he's like, this is dope. I'm dressed like the Joker. I'll never tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that creative is that savvy to think about that. And also on the same point, I think they think that most wrestling fans are dumb. So a lot of times they have to dumb down things. So
Is this because I said I was going to buy a 1990s Dodge Viper?
no, that has nothing to do with that. No.
Probably does.
A little bit.
Well, maybe a little bit, but no. I mean,
We're
I
cheap,
mean, there's a lot
not
of
dumb.
things that are you would think, oh yeah, that'd be, why didn't they do that? Well, no, because you have to dumb it down. Like Miro, he's dumbed down. I mean, that's the shame. Like Zack Ryder was a dumbed down person.
They called him the action figure guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying in WWE when he was on the main roster, he was that guy. But it was
Are you
cute.
trying to say that
Yeah.
woo woo woo
Woo,
was
woo.
not Shakespearean?
I was going further back to when he was a cuck to John Cena.
Oh, yeah, no.
Everyone is.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Yes.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah. No, but I think
It's John Cena. The whole world is a cuck to John Cena.
true. Even his ex old lady was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You think you couldn't just steal anyone's girl?
oh, he
John Cena
could.
does what he wants.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just
he does what he
ridiculous.
wants. Yeah,
No one
he
should
does-
wield that power. He's basically Thanos,
No, I don't think he's Thanos.
but like a good Thanos.
No.
I'm saying he's got that
Well, maybe
power.
he is like Thanos. With not all the stones, though. Maybe
He's
he
got
just
other
has
stones.
two. He just has two.
That's why he doesn't wear the chain gang chain anymore. The Stones.
Yep, it's the stones, Wait, isn't that's someone else? the arm thing. No, but yeah, no. There's
He brings up a good point. He is Thanos. He snapped away Nexus like that.
he did. Yeah. See,
He is the snap of booking.
yeah.
Yep.
And look, you see, you got all nerdy right there. And wrestling fans, I think you're all nerdy. Like, oh my God, they're comparing John Cena to Thanos. Like, what
On my own
Yeah.
show, you talk this shit.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
what
I
I'm
don't know.
talking about. This is what I was saying in the
Randy
beginning.
Orton, I think.
Go
I think Randy Orton is I kind of see him as low key. I don't know why. He's
Okay.
just
I
kind
think
of
him as Punisher.
really.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
bad guy who
I
I think,
fucks
him
with
as,
bad guys.
I think of him as
I'm-
Johnny Sins.
really.
Yeah,
I was
no,
just
no.
thinking of the Avengers right now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't if you go off
me
the
too.
rail, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But no. No. No.
Braun Strowman's Cliff Steele.
Oh, that's pretty.
Who's that?
That's
I'm
pretty
not
good.
that nerdy.
You need to watch Doom
Um,
Patrol. It's terrible and good.
But no. Yeah.
Was there anything else you thought we missed in NXT or AEW or just the overall booze of it all?
NXT won this week. Woo woo woo.
Did anyone see NXT UK?
with
Oh,
criticisms of stories, but they still won by a lot.
Yeah.
Maiko,
I mean, the wrestling was better.
Maiko made her first match on NXT UK. It was really good,
Nice.
really good
Oh,
match.
take a look at that.
They were putting her over hard, dude. They were talking about how she's been referred to as the final boss throughout all of her Japanese career. That Sasha Banks said that she wanted a match with Maiko, but would have to train for 3 weeks before. She would need an advance notice. Like, they're really talking about how strong she is and how amazing it is to have her in the company. I think it's just fantastic.
And she lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
Of course.
She
I'm
did.
excited.
She did.
Yeah. The only other thing I could say is
Go ahead.
AEW, well, it's a little bit better. I think some people were saying that it was, the best show they've done since Winter is Coming. I don't know about that, but
That wasn't a good show.
no, it was not. But I think that I'm just really thinking that, if they did not have the Janela match and they did not have Thunder Rosa versus Layla Hirsch, that show would have
It'd have been
failed.
trash. It'd have been
Trash.
absolute trash. That was
Absolute
stuff that
trash.
They did it.
Absolutely.
It would have
Lunar
been the
does
worst
say
show
D-
since the Winter's Coming show.
Lunar says Dana Bryan is Captain America. That's hard to argue. He's from Washington.
Yeah, he is Captain America.
I think something that I wonder what you guys want to think about it. The ratings came out. AEW was around 750-ish, maybe 730. It was 738, I think. AEW or not AEW, NXT was like 550 something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of remarkable to me that, for one, they're still reporting this like it's an active thing.
Like, yeah.
That makes both companies look bad, for one. Like, neither one's doing well. And even when AEW wants to say, "Oh, look, we did this well in the demo here," you also look stupid for even talking about it, because like you're getting literally millions of less viewers than the main WWE product. And if you're truly trying to be the alternative, you're proving that the thirst for an alternative is low. The other thing is that WWE is also putting out an alternative of their own product, and it's not getting a huge number either. The other thing that we found interesting was we were reading some stuff that a producer found for me, where the people who, I forget the guy's name and such, I could probably look it up, but I'd rather not sound smart right now. But there was the calls they were doing about their ratings and such. One of the guys was interviewed because he had said that, the eyes have shifted, but they've not gone away, and there's still a lot of eyes on NXT or on a WWE product. When he was grilled about that a little bit, he talked about how the Fox app doesn't register viewership because the app in and of itself is private to Fox. So when you look at the ratings for SmackDown, you actually don't even see the full ratings for SmackDown. Anyone who watches through the Fox app will not be counted because Fox doesn't release that information, which also brings up the question of how many apps release information at all or don't, and how much of that information is proprietary. All that stuff's to say that, hey, this shit's complicated. Ratings don't mean what they used to. And if SmackDown is your single most highly rated show right now, and its ratings are even underplayed because a chunk of their viewership is not even reported, maybe that's the show that's really getting it on right,
Yeah. Like,
They had like almost 3 million this week, 225, 26, something like that.
I think the other thing too, like when it comes to like talking about ratings and how stupid it is, even though NXT and AEW don't do the ratings numbers that Raw and SmackDown do, they both are successful shows. They both have a consistent high audience. They both have an audience that what did TNT put on in that spot before, and how well did it do? And the numbers are nothing to sneeze at.
Yes, true too. And that's the thing, is when people want to say that AEW is killing it but NXT is failing, their numbers are too close to say that. It's not like NXT is getting 1,000 people and AEW is getting just shy of 1 million every week. You can't say NXT is fucking up. A 200,000 person deficit between either show on any given night is really fucking close.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this argument back and forth, this constant fight of, but what about this demo or that demo? What we've discovered about ratings is that you want to say that the show that's doing the worst is WWE. The narrative online pushed by Meltzer and Alvarez is they're failing. They have less viewership than they've ever had in their entire careers, their entire business. Yet this year alone, WWE has signed $3 billion deals with companies looking to get to be a part of their world, a part of their universe, a part of their content, to expand into the WWE atmosphere. It wasn't WWE necessarily saying, how do we get more Fox? It was Fox saying, how do we get SmackDown on Fox? You know what I mean? I mean, it's mutually beneficial, obviously. But you had SmackDown going to Fox. You had NBC buying the network. We're getting billion-dollar deals, and you're saying it's the worst it's ever been. They're also making the most money they've ever made. I think there's a lot to be said about product could be better, writing could be better, creative could be better, maybe, right? But I think that it's really hard for me to read and stomach some of these conversations when they're like, AEW is killing WWE, and you're like, they've got 8 Cody action figures and 1 TV deal, and all their shit's on YouTube. I'm not seeing from the other aspect these massive viewerships and these massive companies looking to do business with them. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing these fledgling game shows trying to get eyes on them, asking for a wrestler to show up and talk about poop. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not saying the AEW's failing either. I think they're doing fine. But this weird argument back and forth, I don't know. Maybe that was just a monologue for no reason. Amanda, what are you about to say?
Well, like, not only just, they have their superstars talking about poop, but, one of them tomorrow for that little, their little heels thing. Tomorrow, they're having a question and answer with The Bachelor, Ricky Starks.
I think that's
totally ridiculous.
I did see that.
Because I'm like, come on. The best thing is when you roast these girls who try to hit on you and guys. I think that's the best thing on his Twitter. But
it's so good to watch.
I'm like, I know, so good to watch. But I'm like, I don't want. Someone is letting me borrow their thing because they're like, I know you want to see Ricky, and I go, yeah, so I can laugh because it's funny. I'm mean. I don't want to be kumbaya with all these ladies when I know all of you. You'll backstab anybody at the drop of a hat. Been there, done that. Don't need that drama. Okay.
Well, it's because they're heels.
Yeah. God forbid.
Zing.
Yeah. The only thing I could say about women wrestling fans is they bathe. They usually will smell good. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no. Oh God, it's just horrible. They're like, oh, guys go in my DMs. I'm like, well, if you're putting out sexual content, then that's why they're going in your DMs. I don't have that. And if they do, they get shut down real quick. But
I get you.
I don't get anything horrible. But I think that with like AEW, they do a lot of stuff that's weird. Like going back to Cody. Yeah. All right, it's Black History Month. And Cody has a limited edition Black History t-shirt.
The whitest man on the show.
What? I know. I was like, what? No one hearted my tweet yesterday. But I was like, what they should have done is they should have taken the 7 or 8 African Americans that they have on their roster who are signed. And each one of them should have done a shirt with the proceeds going to that whatever charity that they had. Because honestly, like, that's kind of insulting. I know you're married to a Black woman, but that doesn't make you Black.
No.
Well, and like,
go ahead, Klump.
But I don't know. It's insensitive.
To me, like, there's ways to make it like it just feels a bit pandery because it doesn't seem like. Yes, there's been things that AEW and Cody have been very vocal and supportive. I've not seen them do it before for Black History Month. So yeah, it's sweet. I've not seen much in the way of Black History Month like gear, but it is a bit odd. It also is a bit odd in who it's coming from. If you want to do this and make a concerted effort, reach out to people and ask them if they want to do it. If Cody truly does want to do it, yeah, but there is a bit of weirdness there. And I'm not saying it's not coming from the right place or anything like that, but kind of the same. If I, for Wrestling on the Rocks did a shirt like that, it might, raise a little bit of eyebrows just because, I've not vocally been in support of that. I am, but like, you get what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just a bit funky to me.
Yeah, and if
the fact he's the only one, if they had done a number of them, a whole series of them or whatnot,
that'd be nice.
Cody's a part of it. That'd be cool. But yeah.
No, but if he doesn't, now I'm just going to throw this out there. If he does not for May do a shirt for Pacific Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, fuck you, Cody. Fuck you. I'm just saying it now.
Hell yeah. I bet you Roman does.
Well, yeah, hello, he has to.
Yes.
Watch for Latino
whatever.
Heritage
I'm not saying
Month.
that have all your Joshi wrestlers from Japan do a shirt. I'm not saying that, no. But if it's like, okay, I get what you're doing, but yeah, no. I mean, there's so many people, like you just, like the Nightmare Factory, you just had Lee Johnson win and you signed him finally. He could have been, you know, like you could have had him have that opportunity to be your spokesperson.
Yeah, representation actually means representation of the actual
I agree with it's
group.
Yeah, representation means representation. It doesn't mean like
it feels
and
a
that's
bit
the other
like
thing,
it's
too.
good.
Yeah, it's just him. If it was other people, but it does feel a little bit like Cody being like, all right, people, I make the most money around here. I'll be the one giving to charity. And
Well,
you go,
also,
"What?"
like, if we're going to do this, if you're going to do that, why not do the WWE approach, which isn't bad, is WWE supports this. AEW supports, supports the contributions of black and African American wrestlers, and we want to note that they could do that. They could highlight performers of importance that they've already done that when they highlighted a bunch of people from Memphis. Why not do
That's
that?
a good point. They could have easily done where they just say the name of the charity to begin with. Say AEW is backing this charity this month. Mm-hmm. These are shirts that are available that all proceeds go to there. Also, here's their website. Why don't you check them out and just look about donating to begin with? But for them to be all like, buy this one Cody shirt, our only Cody shirt that goes to that thing. And you're like, okay, this seems specific.
It would be nice if they had even filmed these a little vignette with their African American wrestlers, talking about other African American wrestlers that that they loved growing up or whatever, and whatever. I mean, so that's where I'm like, if you're going to do that kind of stuff,
it was a little out of
get
place,
it,
just a little thing, but yeah,
I get the Brody Lee thing, but come on, if you're gonna do something like that, I mean, you got to be a little bit more genuine about it. Because WWE everyone would be wearing like Susan G. Komen shit, the pink ribbon in October and stuff.
Well, in performers in WWE that have put out stuff for charities or causes that are important to them, like the New Day or Sammy or KO, they've done it in a different way that shows their support and strength for it. Like outside of wrestling, my favorite hip hop group, they have their site has 30 shirts. Each shirt, all the proceeds go to just a variety of charities, and causes, whether it be the ACLU, the Bail Project, and it's cool as hell, and it fits for them. But do something with this. Don't just make it we're doing this. It's Cody. It's just weird as hell. I mean, if it were Kenny, it'd be weirder.
Look back and go, well, yeah. But it was also weird that by the end of the show, you're like, was Cody the only one who's giving to charity for this? That stands out more than anything, because you're like,
no, that was me right after they had said that. I'm like, what?
Right?
Oh,
so
that was me. What? No.
Right, but you can say that and go, well, I don't know about that. Well, let's okay, who else though? And then by the end of the show, you're like, no one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
One else?
Yeah, and I was counting how many wrestlers they had who were African American. 7 or 8. There's not that many. Come on. Shit.
Yeah. It's a little weird, but it is nice. I do like charity work. I do like that he's putting some of his money towards charity. The guy's got money to go around, apparently, so kick it that way.
He's got money to throw away, like a $1,200 pair of shoes and a $3,000 watch on a TV segment.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But I'm just saying, I appreciate that part of it, but I also definitely hear the idea of where the fuck is everyone else?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's pretty valid. I feel like, but who the fuck am I? I'm a drunk dude on Twitch, yelling at nothing, having 12.
Well, I ask. I mean, this is even before thinking of the charity aspect of it. Every time I watch, I think, where is the representation of just women? To start. So I mean, there's a lot of representation that's just not being shown, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully in time. I don't know how much forgiveness we give them for how long, but it seems to be that they just have a forever pass. So we'll see how it goes. I do hope that they do more with charities, that they do more through representation, that they do more to show that they support those things. That's the other thing, is I do believe in my heart that everyone there in their heart does support those things.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it in a way that makes me feel that more confidently and not just a gut feeling. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else you guys think? Oh, go ahead, Klump.
I'll say, like, it generally, like, I would like us to be at a point in kind of society here where I feel a little bit less cynical when I see an affluent person say they support a charity, where I don't instantly think, yeah, that's a tax write-off, or, you know, something like that. Like, show me more, like, and we could be there. That's my hope.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people being critical of different people giving, even to Brody with their own personal T-shirt sales, that there was a belief that potentially some of those people were trying to get their numbers back up to be on back on the top 10. And I hear that argument. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anybody, so it's hard for me to say, like, oh, it definitely was this or that, but I can see that perspective. I can understand the belief that could be a thing, and I can't discredit the concept of it being real or fake on either side of it. So, yeah, maybe not. I'd like to think people do things that are good because it's a good thing to do, but I also do completely understand that a lot of people do good things because it looks good, and that's a little evil.
Yeah. I will say this: he's not getting a microballer in the first, like, little thing.
I saw that.
Yeah. But
I
Britt
saw
Baker
that.
is.
I was gonna say
He's
something
in the first
about
round.
it.
Yeah. I was like, man, like, I was waiting for her to make a comment about that, because I was like, oh, there's no. I mean, he already has one, right? Or two, I think. He already has those. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm glad that, like, in that thing, what they have, Orange Cassidy, they had Britt Baker, who else was in there? Brody. I personally think that they should have done a Dark Order set. You know?
Well, they probably will. I bet they will. But I
put
like
Brody
that Brody's
Lee
in it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but they'll do a
that would've
variant for that. Do a Brody variant for that one in his gear.
Yeah.
With the dark, because this is the white one.
Yeah.
TW Takes is in the chat.
That'd be fun.
But I did see that. The microballers came out, and I was like, oh, no, Cody, because they've been making all these jokes about Cody having all these figures and none of the women. And I was like, ha, ha, ha. It's really weird to, like, really poke fun at the idea of your guys' blatant inequality and obvious visual issues. Okay, so optics-wise, yeah, Cody has 8 fucking figures. And optics-wise,
in AEW alone, right?
In AEW alone.
Okay.
And they have, what, 4 series? 5 maybe? And the women they have so far, Riho, Brandy. That's it. So now they're like, well, we're just announcing a Britt Baker 2-pack that comes with a Cody. And it's a good joke, and it's a laugh because we're making fun of Britt, and we're not actually going to do that. She's going to get her own figure. And you go, okay, great rib of making fun of somebody who had a really valid point about the way you guys are representing your unrepresented. So, I don't know. I can see that. That's a little harsh. I get it. I'm a little proper 12 deep. I'm going to tell you what TW Takes was saying here. I've said it before. He says, AEW is the indies on TV. And that is actually what Amanda said. I believe it was episode 1 when Amanda was on.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you haven't watched almost any AEW NXT top to bottom. What did you think? You said, oh, this is expensive indies. And I went, oof, not what I thought she was going to say.
Yep.
Let's roll with this.
Mm-hmm.
He says, each wrestler is allowed their own voice and direction. But Cody loves himself some Cody, and Tony Khan is devolving into the mark he grew up as. Vince appreciated the art form, and his acting was unmatched. He says there's nothing binding the talent. It doesn't feel cohesive. 100%. It is a mess.
Yes. And those stupid paid advertisements, I swear to God.
They're getting
swear
worse.
to God.
Yeah, it's a hot shit
show. If you keep doing this, it's like, dude, you're the biggest douche canoe that I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, Cody's been rubbing off on you because it's all me. And
It is.
I'm like,
It's
bro,
getting worse. It's crazy. how
yeah.
bad.
And I'm like, dude, your product's not really that great. Okay. And if you have to have someone like you're paying, Uncle Dave under the table to, basically say that, oh yeah, NXT is sucking over there and blah, 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 and whatever. And, praising your stuff. It's like, dude, it's like you got to be a little bit more genuine,
Do you think he's going to start putting ads on NJPW now that they've opened the forbidden door?
Well, they opened the door. I don't think the Japanese will allow that.
I don't think they will either.
To be honest,
Klump?
I don't think they will.
Klump,
Find it
what do you
hilarious. Just don't dub them over. Don't change anything. Just in English. Just like, fuck is this?
You literally, I would love it if they went from that clip to the commentary booth and and literally in commentary they go, I don't know what the fuck that was about, man. What is he even?
Yeah.
Do you see this goof? Let's move on.
I don't
Not
think
even
it
gonna. That'd be so fun.
Who's on your commentary now?
I don't know.
Because it like imploded over at Impact.
Why would I know that?
I
Of
don't
course,
know.
I don't know that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It all imploded over there, so I have no idea. Oh yeah, whatchamacallit is on there.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Whatchamacallit's one of the
Lucha
best.
Underground guy.
Matt Striker.
Thank you.
Striker.
Matt Striker. Why did I forget his name? Yeah,
I
Matt
like
Striker's
him.
on there.
I like Striker.
Yeah, I do
Klump,
too.
is there anything you think that we're missing for this
I think
week?
we're good.
I think we've had a lot of good drinks. I think we've had a lot of good time.
Mhm.
I think I love it when you guys come hang out with me because I know a lot of people call Wednesday hump day, but I'll tell you,
babe.
Thursday is a bitch to get through until I get to here. So I'm glad that everyone came along with me. Amanda, is there anything else that you think that we missed around?
No,
on this?
but I encourage people, if you're just discovering MSK, go into the PWG. This is expensive indies right here for you. Go into the PWG catalog for the last couple of years. Like I'd say 98, 18 to 2018. Excuse me. What am I thinking? 2018. And the Rascals basically have wrestled LAX, so Santana and Ortiz, the Young Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, and who was one they also did? Yeah, they did a lot of these ones. So that's expensive indies for you right there. But you can see why they're still the tag team champions. Are they going to come back and drop them? No.
Oh,
I don't
MSK?
think- Yeah.
What I love about
still-
that is that that's who they had all their matches with, and when they had the opportunity to go to AEW and work with them again, or go to NXT and never work with them again, they're like, NXT, easy.
Little buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. It's interesting that, God, I don't know. I always blank on their new names. The
Nash Carter and Wes.
Nash Carter. Nash Carter dates Kimberly,
Yes.
and her experience at WWE. That kind of shocks me.
Yeah.
They've been together
Yeah,
a
that
long
was-
time. I think they were together when she went over there. If I'm not
Wow.
mistaken. Yeah.
I was expecting a lot more out of her when she went to NXT as well, because I know her and Ruby came in together.
Yeah.
Ruby was Heidi Lovelace at the time, and I remember thinking very highly of both of them.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I do remember thinking I thought that Kimberly was the star of the two.
Yeah.
And that just is not how that played out. And I remember watching it going like, this is kind of crazy. I wonder how Kimber feels about this with Ruby getting, a lot more of this shine. And by the end of it, and she left and all that stuff kind of came out, I was all like, man, fucking wrestling is crazy.
Yeah, she got that Chris Hero treatment,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who I'm waiting for.
Chris Hero has a podcast on adfreeshows.com. Not a sponsor of ours. I don't subscribe to them myself because it's expensive, but I'll tell you, the more that Conrad Thompson puts out, the more I feel it tug on my wallet because there's a lot of great
No.
interviews, and one of
Don't
those
let
is
him
Chris
harm
Hero.
you. Don't let him harm you.
We don't have a
I hate
sponsor
Conrad.
yet, so
Yeah, I'll say it. I hate him.
we're open to sponsorship. If
Give us a sponsorship if you know anybody. Let's see. TW Take says, I gave MSK a not-so-terrible wrestling take that released as you guys went live. Incorrect. It released while we were middle show. You counter-programmed us terrible wrestling takes. And if you don't believe me, go to Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast and find out for yourself. Those assholes are trying to take us down, and we won't have it. We are the NXT to their AEW. I don't know if that's good or bad. We have less ratings, but the better product.
Ouch! Come on.
Ouch.
I don't know. That's what? Look, I lived in New York one time. I'm New York. I can talk that shit to him now.
Yeah, we did have
But
the
he's
actual
not from New York.
license.
He's not
we
in
had,
New York.
We had IDs, so
Yeah,
you
that's a
know.
good point. I had a New York State driver's license. I believe you've only had a Delaware one. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
Delaware.
Yeah, I've lived all over the multiple boroughs. All right.
It's all right. It's all right. Terrible wrestling
Delaware
takes.
even a fucking
podcast.
state?
Delaware sorts. It hangs on.
Yeah. Isn't our president from
Delaware is the clinger.
It's not a fucking state.
Wait, isn't our president from there?
No,
This
he's
is
from America.
going horribly wrong.
No, Delaware
He's
is
from
kind of like
Pennsylvania,
Owen
actually.
Hart when he was in the Nation. I am not a nugget.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh wait, no, it's a
All
tax
right.
haven. Okay, so Delaware is very, very important to the U.S. It's a tax
We're
haven.
getting canceled
Wait,
by.
didn't Ben and
Alright.
No,
The
that's
whole
Vermont.
state.
Never mind.
Yes, Vermont is
Ben
Ben
and
and
Jerry's.
Jerry's. Another sponsor, not sponsor. Believe me, they ought to sponsor me
They
as much
should
as
make
I've
us an ice
invested
cream.
into them.
You should make an ice
A
cream,
re-
a wrestling ice cream. I'm just saying.
Wrestling
great
should make
ideas.
ice cream. I'm gonna start.
Yeah, I want my
can't
amusement
even-
park. And then we go to Ben and Jerry's and see if they'll do an ice cream bar. Like
We
they
have to get a
you know,
sponsorship first.
Disneyland.
This is falling to pieces. I'll tell you, that ice cream's definitely gonna have chunks and pieces in it. There's no way it doesn't.
I don't
Yep.
like where this is going.
It's like derail mocha. Here's the deal. I love it when you guys come hang out with me, when you guys come have a drink with me. We are your wrestling buddies, your drinking buddies. We are Wrestling on the Rocks, and this is our first episode. Thank you for hanging out for the first show, because every show is our first show until we get this right. And our pledge, our oath to you. We started at the bottom, and here we remain. You can find me at Ref Marsh on Twitter, at MarshRef on Instagram. You can find the show at WOTR, the show on Twitter, Wrestling on the Rocks on Instagram. Klump, where can people find you?
Crybaby Klump on Twitter, but I'm not there.
He's not there.
Not there.
Amanda Jane, where can people find you?
You can find me at Ms. Amanda Jane on Twitter and Instagram.
I can tell you where you can't find me in fucking Delaware.
Oh! This is like a
Not-
West Coast, East Coast like rap war now. This is
Not
West-
Wilmington, not Dover. I don't care.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Delaware.
We come from the desert. We
Coming
gotta have
from you
thick.
live from the prickly
It
Arizona.
is smaller as a state than Phoenix is as a city.
Damn.
It is. It is. We got room to grow. We got room to breathe.
Yeah,
Guys,
we got room to stretch our fucking legs out still. Fuck you, Delaware. Okay, I'm done.
thank you guys for coming through, having a drink, pulling up a stool, and talking wrestling. Guys, that's the last call. Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.